taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/15/19.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. Good weekend, other than Sunday. I was correct, by the way. The egg bowl to the iron bowl to the toilet bowl did exist for me. Oh, boy. The Jaguars are the team that continues to give, both on the field in turnovers and off the field in storylines.
Sure.
So here we are on a Monday in December. Happy December. Jaguars are out of it. They're a mess. It's combustible in the locker room. It's disconnected in the front office. The walls are starting to talk, which is never a good thing inside a building in the NFL. And we're looking at a clean sweep probably heading into the 2020 calendar year. I don't know if there's any other way around that. If you think differently, you'd have to really convince me, and you'd probably have to convince Shad Khan at this stage. I would think Jaguars lose again, and it's a subplot now that they lose.
Yeah.
I mean,
You basically said it right there. It's a subplot.
that's what it is.
What else is new? Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is back at the helm. So there's fun in Jacksonville again. That's about the most exciting thing that we have going for us here in Jacksonville is Gardner Minshew is back, and you could really feel the difference yesterday. I mean, I was sitting out there in the second quarter, and Nick Foles was getting an earful, and we want Minshew chants were happening. And I felt like I was watching a pickup game in the park on a nice day.
Sure.
And the concessions were just expensive. I mean, I really did. I mean, there was not a sound to be heard other than a couple of those Minshew chants and the Boo Birds.
Yeah.
But when the play was going on, it was just, it's a great afternoon in Jacksonville. Let's watch a little football and see what happens. No buzz. And then, of course, when Minshew came in, there was a buzz, and he ignited and sparked the team. And by the way, did it in all three phases because I thought all three phases got energized. Maybe it was the crowd. Maybe it was Leonard Fournette's halftime speech. Maybe it was motivation to say, hey, we're down 25-0. Let's not make it 48-0. You know, by the end of the third quarter, which we have done the last couple of weeks, whatever did it, there was a little bit of a pick-me-up and a buzz, and Gardner Minshew had a direct impact on that, I think.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because obviously Minshew right now is the biggest story coming from the Jaguars camp, which it should be. I mean, I think, you know, there's some intrigue there. People are excited to see him go back on the field, and let's be honest, if you're that concerned about ticket sales, I think Gardner Minshew going in against the Los Angeles Chargers, it helps the ticket sales. But I don't want to lose focus here because I get the Minshew story is a big thing. But the Jaguars lost to a horrible Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, okay? And they did not play well. And the biggest thing that stands out to me, and yeah, we can say the secondary maybe missed Jalen Ramsey a little bit. They got a little bit exposed. But to me, it's the same thing, Brent, that I've been saying for the past, I feel like 8 weeks now. It's the penalties. They had 16 penalties yesterday. 16. And congratulations. If you're so cared about, if you're worried about the statistics of where the Jaguars rank with the youngest team, yada, 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 well, guess what? Now you're the number one team in penalty yards in the NFL. Jaguars number one by themselves, alone at the top, the upper echelon, the elite in penalty yards. And to me, I'm sick of, Brent, I'm literally repeating myself every single Monday, but it falls on coaching. And to sit here and say, all right, cool, we have Gardner Minshew coming in, and that's great. But are we not going to make any changes whatsoever? We're just going to roll with what they have right now at the front office, what they have right now in the coaching staff, and just wish, hopefully they can go out there and compete with LA. Is that where we're at right now?
Well, I think that's it because I don't know what button you push. We'll get into that in terms of the front office stuff, but in terms of players, what else do you put in there right now? Is this the best you have? And I think a lot of those penalties, you know, that's why I've laughed off for years the discipline thing. You know, this goes all the way back and the lack of discipline and well, here we are. The last 2 years, the Jaguars, I think, have been top 5 in penalties. This year, number 1 right now, like you just said. Lack of discipline. It's part of the NFL, but it's more, in my opinion, what penalties are. I think it shows a little bit of a lack of talent in areas, especially on that offensive line, and it blows up. And are you really any good on the offensive line? And I think there are people that thought they were pretty good. I thought I wasn't as concerned in the offseason about them, but I think you start reaching and grabbing and holding calls and you get going early and false start calls or all those kind of things when you are afraid of that guy across from you because you're not good or better than him. And sometimes that's going to happen in sports, that you're not better than that guy, but it's happening week after week for the Jags. Yeah. And so when you get in these kind of penalties, I look at it as more, yeah, okay, we can talk lack of discipline. Again, I've never been a big fan of that conversation. I don't think it shows up. And Doug hinted at it today in his conference call that it's the analytics show that you can win championships even if you're a highly penalized team, blah, 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 all that stuff. I'm just saying, I think it comes back to if you're not very good, you're probably going to be penalized. Now, can you be coached better? Yes. Can you be more focused? Can you be more smart? Can you be all those things? Absolutely. But I think it does. I think the hidden part of that is, hey, I'm not as good as that guy, so I have to cheat a little bit if I'm going to compete with this guy. And I think there's a little bit of that going on with the Jaguars right now. So I don't really think that's the overriding thing right now. I mean, I know for you as a former player and 16 penalties is a franchise record for a game.
Drives me crazy,
I
man.
get it. I get it. It showed right now they are poorly coached. Right now they are a bad roster. Right now they are a bad football team. And Gardner Minshew isn't saving that. You know, I get it. Listen, I'm all for it. Let's go have some fun. I know it is a different feel with Minshew in the game. Football is more fun, I said yesterday, and I know that. It's more fun with Minshew in there. But it doesn't mean the Jaguars are light years better when Minshew goes in the football game. Yeah. Don't misconstrue that. Now, they could go roll off a win here or there. They rolled off 4 of them with him in at quarterback before. But I don't know if there's a light switch that goes on. I think the energy could go up. That's for sure for this football team, and at least give him something to ride with, and that could make a difference.
Well, and it's going to be very telling how he plays behind that offensive line, too, because that's what really stood out to me as well, was the offensive line didn't have a great day. I thought Juwan Taylor probably had his worst performance of his season. But once again, and to me, this falls on coaching a little bit from the standpoint of Tampa Bay, their pass defense, we knew was bad, right? I mean, they're good in the run game. They're bad in the pass game. But if you're game planning for Tampa Bay and you put up the game records like every team does, like what guys can beat us? Barrett. Shaq Barrett. He's one of the best defensive ends right now / outside linebackers. I think he's the number 2 right now in sacks in the league.
He came into the week leading.
Okay, well, there you go. Time for the lead. We'll see how he does after this week. But why you wouldn't chip him when you have a rookie right tackle in Juwan Taylor? And granted, I get it. He's played well, but he's still a rookie going against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And you have options to chip. You know, when you go spread formations and you have guys in tight close to the line, you have tight ends close to the line, why you don't chip against Barrett is beyond me. Like, you're setting your young guys up for failure. Like, I get it. They're expected. They're starting right tackles. They're starting left, whatever. You're expected to hold your own, and I get that point. But why not set them up for success? Why not chip against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL? And I didn't see that yesterday. Once again, that falls on coaching.
And does it fall on roster build, too, because you have no tight ends to help chip.
But Brent, it doesn't take. I don't care who you're. Brent, you can go out there and I can tell you to chip, and you're going to chip.
You can hit. Yeah, I get it. But you have nothing in the backfield outside of Leonard Fournette. Are they afraid of exposing Fournette to getting hurt on some of those plays? I don't know. I'm making stuff up because I'm trying to make something up to figure out what the hell's going wrong in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of as far as the chipping is concerned, that it does kind of slow down the timing a little bit, you know, like the routes and everything, because it takes the routes a little bit longer to get developed.
And if those guys aren't blocking, well, then you already don't have a lot of time. If Nick Foles can't move, well, then he's not going to create time.
But let's be honest, Nick Foles wasn't looking for any tight ends anyways. You know, like the Jaguars right now, you look at that roster, they don't really have a tight end. I hate to tell you.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No.
So,
it's the eyesore right now.
Yeah, and then that's an issue. And then obviously, too, with the offensive line, when it's when it's 1st and 1, I'm like at the opponent's goal line, and you can't pound it in. That should tell you what the offensive coordinator, whoever's calling the shots, thinks their offensive line right now. Because you have one of the best tailbacks right now, at least in the AFC, in Leonard Fournette, and you can't give him the rock to gain 1 yard. It's like I said before, Brent. If you're in a goal-line situation and your opponent knows that you're going to run the ball, and you know you're going to run the ball, and you can't get 1 yard, that tells you all you need to know about your offensive line right there. Yeah. Case closed.
And that's been the case all year.
It has been the case all year.
They have not been able to get the push there. Their offensive line stinks.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's not good. They can't get that yard. I mean, they were 1st and goal with momentum and actually thinking, oh, wait a minute here now. If we punch this in, it's 25-18. and with a decent amount of game left, like 10 minutes of game left, 8 minutes of game left. So, yeah, their offensive line stinks. And or just not playing well, whatever. You can tell, but I can't tell you otherwise. It stinks. They're not, and right on the interior, they've been terrible. And so it's a mess. Overall, not surprised, right, that Gardner Minshew's the guy. Had to make that move. That was the easiest decision of the year for Doug Marrone coming off the game yesterday.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, I mean, and once again, it depends how much you worry about selling tickets. Obviously, Doug Marrone's not worried about that. Doug Marrone's looking at it like, who gives us the best chance to win? And when Foles was out there, the offense was anemic. They were slow. He looked like he was just hesitating, not making the good decisions, holding on the ball a little bit. And then all of a sudden, the second half, Minshew comes in, the crowd gets involved a little bit. But it's like you said, it seemed like all three phases of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they got that spark a little bit. You know, now let's be honest. The receivers didn't help Minshew at all sometimes, too. I mean, like, D.D. Westbrook had that drop. There's a few guys that had some drops that didn't help Minshew, but at the end of the day...
They didn't help Foles either. I mean, Shark should have had a ball down the field. Beautiful throw by Foles right down the middle of the field, and he dropped it. But, I mean, you got to make that play.
Yeah, but this goes back to my point, the one that I made on Thursday, where if you look at Minshew, to me right now, what we've seen from Nick Foles, who I'm going to say he's 0-3. Okay, I'm not going to count the Kansas City game, but Nick Foles is 0-3 right now. To me, Gardner Minshew can make every single throw that Nick Foles can make. But he can do more with his legs. Foles can't make some of the throws that Minshew does because he can't keep the play open enough. So from that perspective, to me, it's an absolute no-brainer. You have to go Minshew. You have to go with the young guy. You have to see what you have there and then kind of plan for that going forward.
You said something, though, that is starting to ring very hollow to me in my ears because I've heard Doug Marrone say this the last few weeks. Gives us the best chance to win. What the hell did the Jaguars see in Nick Foles in practice that gave them the best chance to win? And listen, I'll go back to I thought the game, his decision-making hinged on the London game. And let's be honest, Minshew was awful against Houston in that game. He was terrible. He didn't give anybody a sign of hope to say, all right, we got to stick with this kid. And he had a chance to do that. And he didn't. So that's reality. And so I even said, if he doesn't win that game, I think I'm going back to Foles too. So I'm guilty of it, but I'm not getting paid to make those decisions. I'm getting paid to rip them after they don't work.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. So what the heck did they see that said this guy gives us a better chance to win? If you just described they both make the same kind of throws, both make the same kind of plays, except one guy will create more time because our offensive line is not very good. One guy they're going to feed off with energy. The other guy's thinking, well, I'm just trying to get back in here and we'll see how this thing goes. And I'm not even sure how I'm going to respond coming off the broken clavicle, this 2-month layoff, all these things. Almost feels like treating it like it's preseason again. What did they see? We got to take a timeout. When we come back, I don't get that. Gives us the best chance to win because for the last 2.5 games, I watched a guy out there that sure as hell didn't give you a good chance to win the football game. He really didn't do anything outside of made 2 throws maybe in 2.5 games. That got you excited. Yeah. And I'm not even sure that got people excited. What was Doug Marrone thinking? Did he make the wrong call? Now, in hindsight, I think that's clear as day. And what is the future of Nick Foles in Jacksonville is really the big story. Did the chapter close this quick on the Nick Foles signing? Wow. And what an indictment against the front office this has turned out to be. You thought the Bortles move was bad. This one might be 10 times worse. It's next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny skies today, breezy and much cooler with high temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. Clear and chilly tonight. Overnight lows in the lower to mid 30s. With your first alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
20% off. Ha, fun.
Don't get Scrooged this Christmas buying a diamond from anyone else but Beard's Diamonds.
Now through Christmas, you'll save an extra 20% off Beard's already guaranteed low prices,
including loose diamonds.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
Fact: about half of all men will experience ED or PE. Fact: both ED and PE are highly treatable. Fact: a safe, effective treatment is just a call away. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our highly skilled doctors guarantee results on your first visit, or there's no charge. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rabinski. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, the treatments at Prime Men's Medical Center work immediately, regardless of your age or medical history. You'll receive custom-blended medications designed just for you. They're safe and effective with no pain and no surgery. Patients are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, the treatments are affordable.
Men, if you want to last longer in the bedroom, schedule a private consultation with the experienced physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Now through December 2nd, Arlington Toyota is going to keep Mega Black Friday savings going strong. How mega? How about paying up to 50% less on remaining 2019s? And that's on top of the already incredible Toyotathon markdowns. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, just imagine the possibilities at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? It's not $16,995. Now it's only $12,481. That's $12,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington Toyota. Gotta have a 2019 Toyota Tacoma? It's not $24,575. No, now it's just $28,991. Just $28,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington. And Black Friday, you can even register to win a $500 gift card from Arlington. Plus, you'll get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Pay up to 50% less now through December 2nd during Black Friday at Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Black Friday for offer details.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I own Farm Girl Flowers in San Francisco. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. Last year, I redeemed $115,000 in cash back. Yeah, $115,000. And that doubled our digital marketing budget for the summer. Thanks to my Spark Card, we had our best summer yet. Imagine what the Spark Card from Capital One could do for your business. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers pay for real stories. Credit approval required.
There was this one time I went snorkeling in the Caribbean when I was a kid. It really just blew my mind. We saw the most beautiful corals. I remember thinking they were waving at us as they moved with the ocean. And then there were all these amazing fish. I'll never forget it. It completely changed the way I look at the ocean.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Golick and Wingo.
I totally understand it. They need to find out down the stretch of this season whether or not Nick Foles is going to be the guy they thought he was going to be when they paid him the money.
Golick and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Now, back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
At this point, I don't think it really matters what quarterback the Jaguars start when the rest of the team looks like all they want to do is sit around a campfire holding hands and singing Kumbaya.
Bunch of hippies.
Hell, I wish I was doing that instead of at the bank yesterday.
We're thinking about doing the press box, yeah. Do a little Kumbaya, why not?
Marshmallows.
Yeah, a little s'mores action. Yeah.
Listen, you get this all the time, and I understand it. When it looks bad, it looks like they're not trying. I don't buy into that.
No.
I just think it looks so disjointed. There's no energy. Doug Marrone called it dead in the first half in terms of his offense. I believe the defense actually played okay, considering their circumstance. I mean, I would say
they stopped the run, but
they didn't.
What is that really saying?
I thought
though?
Jameis made some really nice throws, though, in the tight coverage at times. I didn't see guys wide open like we've seen. I mean, there were a couple. I'm just saying there have been some major breakdowns on defense, and I didn't see as much of that and they're playing. Their defensive front just isn't that good. I think we figured that out. If they don't bring pressure, it doesn't matter. And I also, they're playing with a linebacking core that's, it is what it is. I'll tell you this, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
And this is a super sidebar, whatever, for this game. But in one afternoon, I felt like I saw number 54 around the football and making more plays than I saw number 44 in the first 12 games.
Yeah.
Or 11 games.
Talk about pain.
I mean, and I don't even know if he played well. I'm just saying, I recognize number 54 doing things way more than I recognize number 44 who just got paid a lot of money.
Sure.
The only play I still remember from Miles Jack this season is the pick against Cincinnati, and it was a great play.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, I'm talking like big tackles, running sideline to sideline, big hits on the – I don't remember. Now, that might just be my eyes. I'm sure there are more. But I watched number 54 make more plays than 44, and the guy has like 12 career snaps at middle linebacker in his career.
Donald Payne, yeah. I mean, he had a sack yesterday. He had an interception yesterday.
Well,
the guy, yeah.
But he was there, though. That's what I'm saying. He was around the football right there.
Yep. Yeah, I thought he had a decent game for what they asked him to do. I think those 2 touchdowns kind of fall on him when Peyton Barber, kind of pranced in the end zone.
Yeah.
I thought and it's kind of the same story with all their linebackers, and Todd Wash has been preaching this where they're more of a east to west linebacking core than they are north to south, which I still don't understand at all, because if you want to compare it to the San Francisco 49ers, which they kind of run the same defense, San Francisco does not believe in that kind of philosophy. They come downhill, but we'll get into that maybe some other time. But I thought, all things considered, I thought Donald Payne played an okay game. Now, once again, in the run game a little bit, and don't get it twisted, Tampa Bay's run game was not good. They're a pass-first team. I thought they just kind of ran the ball a little bit at the end just to kind of run the clock out, I guess you would say, because they can feel Minshew bring the momentum. So from that perspective, I mean, they ran probably a little more than they wanted to. But overall, yeah, I mean, I guess Payne, he was in the right spot at the right time. Now, maybe he didn't make all the plays sometimes, and maybe he didn't come downhill fast enough, but he was in the right spot.
I'm just saying I noticed him.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to notice a defensive player once in a while, and I noticed him. Yeah,
sure.
There's a lot of guys I have not noticed in the last month.
Yeah.
And I just want somebody to make a play. Like that first half on offense, nobody made a play. Like there was not a play made in that football game on offense. None. So Doug Marrone had to make a move, and he finally did. And so what does that mean for Nick Foles now? I will say this about Foles. I think it's a very small sample and an unusual circumstance. Let's just state that as a fact. This is not a defense of him, but he was playing awful football the last 2.5 games. Why that is, I don't know. I don't think he's that bad is my point. I really don't. I don't think he's that bad of a quarterback as it showed the last 2.5 weeks. Might be wrong, but I don't think he's that bad. I also don't know why it went awry. Was the sitting out for 2 months, trying to get acclimated with this team again? Was the Minshew feel of what he created in his head a little bit? Were they not on the same page with DiFilippo and him? Does he really need tight ends to be successful, and this team doesn't have any? Mm-hmm. Again, I'm trying to find him a bunch of excuses. I do think the sample size is small. That's not me advocating that he should play. This is the right move to go to Minshew. I saw that firsthand yesterday. If you didn't believe it before, you believe it after yesterday. This is the right move. I also just was kind of surprised. If you really take the context of it, this fan base is upset. They're so mad. I sat out there in the second quarter. It was almost comical, some of the things that being said. I mean, I almost have to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And that's a bad place to be, but that's where we are. And if you really take into what happened here with Nick Foles and you see it from his point of view, he played one quarter against Kansas City. In fact, his final throw was a beautiful one. He played one quarter in Jacksonville in a Jags uniform in this city, in this stadium, and he was booed. He played less than 2 quarters, and he was booed in his home stadium.
Yeah, but people also saw what happened on the road, though,
I understand.
And that
I'm
all
just
has
saying,
something to do with it.
So for him, it must be like, whoa. And you could see that post game yesterday. I could feel that from Foles. All this other stuff of being patient and the trials and the culture, that took a backseat even yesterday. It was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, I just got here. I've only stepped out on that field a couple of times. So I'm seeing it. I was just like, wow, if you put it in that context, he'll have that context. But now it's bigger than that because there's a different situation here. The Minshew stuff. You need to win now. This fan base is fed up. This coaching staff can't wait. This front office is on the verge of being fired. You couldn't do all the things that Nick Foles was trying to do and say, well, listen, we got time. No, you don't. You don't have time. And that will be the fault of Nick Foles in this whole approach, is that he really wanted to build this thing inside out, but this wasn't year one for anybody but him. And you can't do that. They needed him to come in and hit the gas, man. He needed to be a sense of urgency. And he needed to do this right away like it was Philadelphia and the playoffs were on the line. And you never got that sense from Nick Foles. I think it hurt him with the fan base. I think it hurt inside that locker room because guys don't want to wait. They want to win. And I think it hurt with his play out there, this kind of conservative big picture approach to saying, we'll get it right, we'll get it right. I don't think that needed to be the approach. His approach needed to be like, man, I got to hit the ground running, if for nothing else to hold this kid off, because this kid's played pretty well and they love him around here.
Exactly. And it's... Listen, I was the one that was happy that Nick Foles was coming to town, right? I think, I don't say I was happy, but it made sense to me. To me, it was the best decision to make.
The move made a lot of sense.
It did, because he was the best available free agent. I liked him over Flacco, and I didn't want to draft Dwayne Haskins. Simple as that. So there weren't too many other options. Make you take Drew Lock. Drew Lock looked pretty good, but let's be honest. We know Drew Lock was going to come out and beat San Diego.
Drew Lock threw for 134 yards and got gifted a win yesterday, and it took him 12 weeks to get in there.
But he threw some nice looking passes, though, Brent. He really did. He did.
So that's one game.
Listen, with Nick Foles, though, I thought it was the best decision to bring him here. And I think the thing that people were drawn towards more than anything was the fact that he had the leadership, right? Because if you look back to 2018, the leadership was lacking. So I think the expectation was for Foles to come in to, change the culture, to kind of bring that Super Bowl winning mentality to this Jaguars team. And then, it'd be hit the road running. And unfortunately, you can be a great teammate, and players can sing your praise and say, yeah, he's a great teammate. He cares about me outside the field. That's fantastic. But if you're not performing on the field, you're never going to lead anybody, and no one's going to ever follow you. And no, I don't feel bad for Nick Foles for being booed at home. And I know Gardner Minshew kind of came out and said that he felt kind of bad for him. I get it, man. But at the end of the day,
I'm not saying I feel bad for him. I'm just saying the context of that is he played 2 quarters and Jacksonville was booed off the field.
At the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for you because, number one, you're coming off of a broken bone. So either they brought you back too early, which to me makes zero sense, because either the bone's healed or it's not healed.
Okay? It was healed.
So it's
they didn't
healed.
bring him back too early.
So there's no excuse for bringing him back too early. And then there's no excuse of, maybe he played against some good defenses. Indianapolis, their secondary, Tennessee secondary, they're not good. And as far as I'm concerned, you had the advantage of playing on the road, because when you had those misfires, when you had those bad passes, when you made those bad decisions, you didn't have a crowd at home that was booing you. So it was all set up for you to succeed. You could go on the road, maybe win one of those 2 games, play pretty well, come back to Jacksonville, and still be in the playoff running. But what happened? You didn't do that. You went 0-2. You come back here, you have a bad first half, and you get booed. Welcome to the NFL, man. I don't feel sorry for anybody. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. By the way, if you want, for Nick Foles, I'm trying to think of it from his, where did it go wrong? And John DeFilippo set him up to fail with no rushing attempts for Leonard Fournette a couple weeks ago. And by the way, I think there is an indictment now against this offensive line. And if for Nick Foles, see, that's the thing that got to me. I thought he was way more mobile in Philadelphia than he's looking right now. He looks old and slow. And I mean, was I wrong that when you watch those games in Philly?
Yeah.
When you remember some of those, I remember him kind of rolling out on some of those plays. I'm not saying he was fast. I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson. I'm not saying any of that, but I thought he was at least a little bit more mobile.
Yeah.
My eyes must have been watching a different game.
Well, no, I'll say this. I think he looked a lot more comfortable. To me, he never looked comfortable out there.
That's a good point.
On Sunday.
Maybe that's the
never
word.
Looked comfortable, never looked confident. It seemed like every single throw that he threw, he wasn't stepping up in the pocket. He didn't. I don't know. To me, it's all mental, man. That's what it's like. You can say the receivers aren't getting open. Tampa Bay threw some new No. It falls on Foles, and I think it just falls on his confidence and his mentality. And for whatever reason, it's not there.
Yeah, confidence. He was shook. He looked shook.
Yeah.
He did. It's a good word for it. That's kind of a cool word to say, right?
Shook? Oh, yeah. I mean, Mobb Deep has been doing that since like the early 90s. They're a rap group, by the way, in case you didn't know.
I was going to say,
Shook Ones.
did they use Shook on the gram?
Shook Ones. It's not called the gram, though, right? It's only Monday, Brett. Come on.
Hashtag Shook.
Hashtag
Easy?
Shook.
Both of you?
All right, we didn't really answer the question. Is he done here?
Yeah.
Let's get into that part. Is Nick Foles done, and is this Minshew's franchise now? I mean, did we just see that happen in the last 24 hours? Next on ESPN 690. Star 690 is the number. 904-362-9901. Oh, I know you got some thoughts, people.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have effectively eliminated themselves from playoff contention with their fourth loss in a row by at least 17 points. In the second half, Doug Marrone tried to get some Minshew magic going, but it was already too late, and the Jags fell to the Bucs 28-11. Here's Nick Foles after the game responding to the negative reaction he was getting from the crowd.
I understand this game. I understand that part of this game. I've been a part of it, but I've also been a part of turning things around, and it's not easy.
And finally, in college football over the break, Alabama lost, so it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, and UF dominated Florida State. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly, get free estimates, and you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Hi, this is Dr. Amit Choksi, LASIK eye surgeon with Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialists. Are you tired of wearing contact lenses or glasses? Are you frustrated with your poor vision? I know I definitely was. 15 years ago, I made one of the best decisions of my life. I had LASIK, threw away my contacts and glasses, and to this day enjoying my 2015 vision. Are you ready to see your best? Come visit us. You'll see our highly experienced staff in a non-pressured environment. With our latest all-laser technology and combined experience of over 25,000 surgeries, we can tell you if you're a candidate for life-changing vision correction. My passion is for you to see your best with the same procedure I trusted for my own eyes, as well as my family, fellow doctors, and even our Jaguars. Call us for your complimentary consultation to see if we can help you see your best.
Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialist.
Hope to see you soon.
268 Eyes, or check us out on the web at metalaser.com, the official eye care partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Shop the 904. We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
When you shop locally owned businesses, most of the money you spend with them stays right here in our community.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904. Local businesses are also the ones who give more back to the community by supporting local charities and sponsoring your kids' sports teams.
This holiday season, when you shop the 904, you're also giving the gift of helping your local community stay unique.
Sure, it's tempting to try to save a few bucks shopping the giant online or national retailers, but those few bucks you save would do more for our local economy if you shop local.
Shop the 904 and help keep our community unique.
Shop the 904. Powered by Cox Media Group.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
If there was an award you can give a guy that has the fastest get off in the NFL, I would be campaigning for that award for Marcel Darius. It's not only the first step, Brent, it's also the hand placement.
Catch Brent and Austin weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jack.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
3 turnovers in the first quarter. I'm sick to my stomach. If this front office is here tomorrow when your show is on, I'm done.
Oh, he's done.
What the heck? You better be listening to our show, man.
He's
Thanks
done.
for calling Star
Yeah.
690. Star 690 got a little traffic yesterday after that game. And you can always leave a message, by the way, on any of the topics we talk about, but we specifically have it there for the emotions of Jags games. And you can leave a message at any time. We try to play as many as we can back during the weekend, especially here on a Monday that we used to call Overreaction Monday, yet I'm not sure this is overreaction to anything.
No.
Now, I mean, I think this is just actual reaction.
This is just calling it like it is, Brent.
This is
calling like it is Mondays.
It's kind of like that. And by calling what it is, I want to get to this in a bit.
Yeah.
And this is where you can really shed some light and help us. But, us, meaning the media, in that locker room after the game, there were high tensions in that locker room. Now, physically, did we see anything going on? No. I know there are some reports of things that went on, and they also were not dismissed that nothing didn't happen by Coach Marone today, players yesterday. We did hear some shouting in the showers and all that stuff. I've been in a lot of locker rooms, okay?
Yeah.
I understand. I understand it's a grown man's business. It's a frustrating business, and people want to win. It's a highly competitive business. So I don't get too alarmed by some of that stuff. And I'm not saying I am alarmed. I'll just tell you yesterday did feel a little bit different. It felt like it was at a boiling point. It felt like it could be combustible, and it felt for a couple of minutes there uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, what else is going to happen in here in a couple of minutes? So we'll get you talk about it quickly, but I want to talk a little later on your end of it.
No, let's go ahead and talk about it a little later because I want to actually incorporate that to the last call I left the message about the coaching and the changes. I think that kind of coincides together, so I want to get into that a little bit later.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think there's an interesting tie-in with the players that have been rumored to have been involved in the confrontation, although I've been told a little bit today that wasn't factual, so who the heck knows right now?
Sure.
The bottom line is something happened. Nobody is dismissing that. Nobody's denying that. And where does it go from? There's 4 weeks to go. This isn't like 2 weeks left in the season. We've already been dealing with it for the last 2 weeks.
We still have one more quarter of football to go.
So 4 weeks, man.
Yeah.
4 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
And really the only thing to cling to in Jacksonville is this guy named Gardner Minshew. And that's a good thing.
Like I said, though, I'm going to break it down a little bit here with the coaching and the changes that need to be made, especially in that locker room.
All right. Well, Wally is on the line. Thanks for listening to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Get your thoughts on yesterday. I think you want to talk a little Nick Foles. Wally, what's up?
Yeah, well, I'm the guy that at the beginning of the season, before they signed him, I grew up in Philly, and I'm a huge Eagles fan.
Hey, Wally, I'm going to let you. Hopefully, Wally is listening and he can call back, but his phone obviously was breaking up. It didn't sound like that when he called in, but let's see if that's a phone line problem or a Wally issue with his phone.
We'll have to give him a call back, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully you can check back in. I think we have, let's go to Tom on the line. Hopefully his phone sounds a little bit better. What's up, Tom?
Not much. I got a lot more respect for Doug Marrone because at least he gave the bird to Coughlin in the front office, go out on his terms. But the kids look like their best friend came out to play when Minshew came off the sideline. Like, they look like they were just happy to be there. Nick Foles is just a dead end, and I know everybody will be gone. Hopefully Nick goes with him, but Minshew's the man, the myth, the mustache. Yeah.
All right, Tom, appreciate the call. That's a very good way to describe it. I like that comparison.
Yeah.
It did look like their best friend in the neighborhood got off his grounding, and now we can all play football again.
Grounding.
You know, everybody's had that moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's
We've
like,
all been
hey,
there.
dude, we need you to make 4-on-4,
Yeah.
or we need an automatic quarterback.
Yeah.
Where the hell have you been? Stop getting in trouble.
Yeah.
We only have 7 guys in the neighborhood. Yeah, that's a great comparison, man. That's awesome. I love that. And that's what it felt like. It felt like that in the stadium. It felt like that in the city. I think it also, I saw the ratings. Mm-hmm. The ratings got a bump because everybody had pretty much turned it off.
Yeah.
And it did feel like that, on the football field, all 3 phases. What I don't understand, why? Like, why does that happen? You guys are all pros. I say you, I'm going to group you in because you've been there before.
Sure.
And you played with some bad quarterback play, too, here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think back. Did you ever get that kind of bump? And I mean, you didn't have anybody like a Minshew, but we've seen guys do this before, and excuse the comparison, but I think, like, Denver felt a little bit of this years ago to Tebow. Mm-hmm. And although it's totally a different situation, because I think in Denver and the NFL as a whole, they were saying, listen, this guy's not an NFL quarterback. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback. I think people feel differently about Minshew. I think Minshew, there's a higher ceiling. There's more. This isn't just like, hey, this is a cool thing to do, Yeah. So I'm not trying, but you don't like Flutie. I always bring up Flutie instead. I hate bringing up the Tebow comp. I really like bringing up Doug Flutie. I followed Doug Flutie when he went to the pros. He had to go to the Canadian League. They didn't believe him. And then Buffalo put him in. The Patriots had him for a little bit. Again, Patriots stunk at this time when the Patriots had him. Chicago, I think he played for. Flutie energized people. He energized the crowd. He energized the offense, the defense, the special teams, the sideline. Guys have that, and Minshew has that. We know he has that. I don't know what else he has, but he definitely has that. Mm-hmm. Do you remember anybody else doing that in your career, though?
Well, yeah.
And why does it happen?
I've shared this story before, and it's sad that, like, this is my only example, but it reminded me not so much of, like, the crowd reaction, because the crowd didn't really give a crap when he came in, but Trent Edwards, all right? So my rookie year, Trent Edwards, I think, played only in 2 or 3 games because he got hurt.
Yeah, captain check down.
Yeah, okay, there you go. He came in for Dave, and this was like a primetime game. I want to say it was a Monday night game, it must have been, my rookie year.
Probably the last one this franchise has had.
Oh, exactly. Unless it's Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, you guys screwed that up. Probably had a bad performance.
We were 8-8 that year, all right. But so Trent Edwards comes in, and, like, first of all, his personality, Brent, like, he's just kind of, he was a laid back kind of guy, but he was one of the cool. He reminded me of Alex Smith. Where Alex Smith, there's something about him where he's just like, he's calm, cool, collected, easygoing, but, like, you'd go to battle for him for whatever reason. And Trent Edwards won the respect of the locker room because on, like, a 3rd and 10 play, he scrambled. He's not the most athletic dude, but he scrambled out, took the biggest hit you've ever seen, gets the first down, takes the hit, stands back up and, like, just flexes on the guy and goes first down. Yeah. And, like, that's all we needed to be like, oh, we're rolling with Trent. And I'll never forget, after that game at halftime, we come back to the locker room and I found Trent. I'm like, Trent, we're rolling with you, man. We got you, man. Let's do this. Like, we were excited just because of that one play.
Interesting.
And with Minshew, it's exemplified by 100 because he makes those plays nonstop. He's not afraid to get hit. He's willing to extend the play. He's almost got like that backyard Brett Favre type of style, but it just, and I guess that kind of style, it shows how much you want to win. Well, sure, you may make a couple mistakes. You may fumble the ball here. You may throw a bad pick, but you're trying your darndest to win. And I think guys can relate to that. And they know when Minshew comes in, it's not just going to be like, I'm going to throw the ball away and we'll go 3 and out here. No, I'm going to try to make these plays, whether they're right or wrong, but guys can respond to that. So that's why I think when he came in, guys are like, all right, he's going to do everything in his power to try to make us win.
Well,
and they respect that.
And you offset it by the last 2.5 games, which have been so bad.
Yeah.
And then it actually feels 1,000 times that.
Yeah.
And you experienced it before. You've seen it from Minshew, so you can believe in it. You saw it happen for 8 games.
Now, to be fair, Trent Edwards got hurt like the game after that. And then we had to go to Todd Ballman off the tractor. We was farming, and all of a sudden they gave him a call, and he was off the tractor on their team. So what are you going to do?
Jacksonville, Austin Lane is here to remind us it's actually been worse.
Dude, Todd Ballman's a good guy, though, too, man. Nothing against him. Oh, he was fantastic.
Hey, I was ticked off about this summer when we tried to revisit the 25 seasons of Jaguars. I tried to get in touch with Ballman, and I couldn't find him.
Oh, he's off the grid, man. Come on.
No, I should have. I just couldn't get in touch with him.
I
know where he is. I tracked where his location was, left a couple messages, but I would have loved to talk to him. He was a cool dude.
Oh, he was a very cool.
Really good guy.
He doesn't have Twitter or anything, right? He doesn't have Instagram.
God.
That's what I'm saying.
He is on the tractor,
he's off the grid. That's what I'm saying.
That guy's on Facebook,
the guy's off the grid.
Twitter.
Yeah. Off the grid.
Now, maybe his kids are. I don't know, but he's not. South Beach Gary, he's been hanging around for a bit. Are we going to have to hear about the Dolphins? This is a good win by your Dolphins, man. I can't believe the Eagles lost that game. What a mess. The Jaguars are a mess. Yeah. The Eagles might be next up.
Let's make the song of the day, She's My Kind of Rain by In the Draw.
Oh, we got songs back.
Kind of fits the mood around here. But, only one win less than the Jags now, Austin. But I remember...
Hey, I hope you keep winning. We'll take a top 5 draft pick now.
I'll take that 5 pick.
Austin, I remember you and I talking in the preseason about the penalties, and all year it hasn't been cleaned up, which goes back to a coaching issue and a big discipline. And, Brent, you kind of dismissed the idea. You thought it was really overplayed. Mm-hmm. But usually, Austin, not always, bad teams commit the most penalties. It doesn't always correlate unless you have super talent that can overcome them. I mean, the Raiders used to be a heavy penalized team, but when they had a lot of talent on the team, they were able to overcome it. But for the most part, the undisciplined teams commit the most penalties, the worst poorly coached team, and it hasn't changed all year. I remember you and I discussing it from after the first preseason game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, Gary, that's why I literally listen, I'm kind of going through my stages of grief and then acceptance where it's to the point where I've said it since preseason and it hasn't got addressed. So if nobody else cares on that team, then why should I care about the penalties? Because no one on that team seems to care. They don't address it. And I get what you're saying, Brent. They don't maybe have the most talent to fend off those kind of penalties. If you're an offensive lineman and the guy beats you on the pass rush, sometimes you have to hold to try to save the sack. I understand that standpoint, but the false starts, just the legal hands, just things that are totally coachable. And I think if you're a coach right now on that Jaguar staff, and I get it. I mean, you're probably coming to an end here of your time in Jacksonville. But you have to understand what you're doing right now, and in individual drills and team drills, whatever you guys are doing, it's not working.
Yeah.
You're the most penalized team right now in the NFL, and it's been set up like that for a long time. You don't have the offense to counterbalance that because we talked about last year, the Kansas City Chiefs were the most penalized team last year. Well, good. They have Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't really matter.
2nd and 20 doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter.
You better have talent to overcome it.
Exactly.
And that's what Gary just said.
But if you're the coaching staff, you have to look at yourselves and be like, we have to change something up because beating the dead horse of doing the same things over and over again to the same results, once again, it's the definition of insanity. And right now, it's absolutely insane that the Jaguars are leading the NFL in penalty yards.
I die on top of the hill of it's a player's game. Players make plays. I still believe it's players, it's players, it's players. But the Jaguars are not doing a good job of coaching, and that is clear as day by the fact that they are the worst team in the NFL the last month. They have lost 4 games in a row by 17-plus points in a game in a league that does not support that kind of losing. It's not created that way. I'll give you the Cincinnati Bengals still playing hard, still fighting and winning a football game. Prior to beating the Jets, I thought the Jets had kind of turned it around for a couple weeks. They must be doing a better job coaching. The Miami Dolphins, they must be doing a better job coaching. So I'm giving you examples of awful teams. The Washington Redskins. Callahan must be doing it better. So it has to do with something with coaching because they all have terrible players. Like they're not all terrible, but they're not good teams.
So it's funny. The teams that you mentioned, the Miami Dolphins, Brent, and the Cincinnati Bengals, who are playing better now, it looks like, right? Well, the Cincinnati Bengals, second to last right now in penalty yards per game. Second to last, and the Dolphins, fourth to last.
Well, that's a good call. So if you're not very good, you better play sound football.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
From a talent standpoint,
without a doubt.
It's a good call. I think we have Wally back, and then we're going to hit Marcus on Gardner Minshew in just a moment. But what's up, Wally? Hope the connection's a little better.
I hope so. Yeah. So I was disappointed to see what happened with Foles, although I predicted it kind of in the beginning. And between that and the Eagles playing horrible yesterday, it was a very depressing day. The funny thing is, friends up in Philly were saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have gotten rid of Nick Foles. He's the one that the team responded to." And I'm like, "Do you guys even watch down here? Because he just got benched."
Yeah.
And absence makes the heart grow fonder, but both teams are a wreck. I just think the Eagles are lucky that the Cowboys aren't nearly as bad as they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I appreciate the call. Thanks for listening to Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. By the way, the Eagles, that was horrendous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you have everything in front of you and you're that football team, I understand they're depleted on offense a bit. But they let the Miami Dolphins score 30. They were up, I think, 2 scores in that game. They let the Miami Dolphins score 37 points on them in a game you have to win.
Yeah.
Look out, Doug Peterson. The shine is off there, too.
The shine is off. And listen, I get they have the injuries, but a lot of guys are coming back. Then they had Ertz back. Alshon Jeffrey's getting back to 100%. I think Aguilar played as well. So, I mean, I get it. Jordan Howard's out, and maybe that's the big deal. But Miles Sanders, I thought, kind of filled in for him nicely. So, I don't know what's up with the Eagles, man, especially Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator, who's a pretty proud individual. Giving up 37 points to Fitzmagic and the Miami Dolphins, not a good look.
And their defense had played well the last 2 weeks.
I know.
Their offense was so bad.
And here's the crazy thing, Brent. They're on a 3-game losing streak, still in contention to win the division.
I know it.
Still in contention.
That's how bad the NFL's bad right now.
Still in contention.
I think the 10-2 Patriots are like an average football team.
They looked like it last night. Probably a little below average.
Yeah, they looked below average. Yeah. Then maybe there's some concerns. The only thing that I have joy of today is that all the Patriots fans back home are starting to hit a panic button like it's over, and I love every second of it. I'm a bad person for it, but I love every second of it. You spoiled, rotten sons of guns. Marcus is on the line right now, wants to talk a little Minshew. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing in there today?
I've been better, but I'm glad you're calling in and listening. Thanks.
Hey, no problem, man. I did an interview around the Georgia-Florida weekend, man, when Foles was just coming back, and they was and Minshew was hot. And I said back then, don't take the hot man out for another guy, because it happened to us before. And that's exactly what we did. At that time, we was maybe a game or two. We were 4 and 5 game out.
Yeah.
And ever since then, the doors have fell off, man. But I don't think we could really blame Nick Foles. Nick Foles is just showing us who he's always been. We paid Nick Foles based upon about a 13-game radius. But you look at his career before then, he's just doing the same thing he's always done.
Marcus, appreciate the call, man. Thanks for jumping in on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
He's not wrong.
Well, that's true from the getting hurt stuff to the numbers. I'm looking at Nick Foles right now, and I don't think he's as bad a quarterback as the last 2.5 games. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's what I saw yesterday on the field that bad of a quarterback. I know a lot of people do. I get it. That's fine. You might be right.
Yeah.
I've been wrong plenty of times about that damn position.
Yeah. So let's be honest here. I think Nick Foles is brought in from the standpoint of, we don't need you to win a lot of games. We need you to do what you did in Philly. We're going to put the good guys around you. You're going to have a solid offensive line, and you're going to go out there and not lose us games. Maybe you win us a couple games, but don't lose us games. Well, Foles can't even manage games right now, right? Like he can't even sustain a drive. And I think the fact that the Jaguars don't have a lot of talent right now on offense or defense, it seems like for the most part, that's hindering him. Because even in Philadelphia, at least he had the talent around him. They never really asked him to go out in Philly and win ball games. Now, he had some plays here in the Super Bowl and plays here, but it was more about just managing it. Yeah. And when you come to game manage a team in Jacksonville, well, you don't have the guys around to support you, so you're kind of screwed, in my opinion.
Well, they're certainly not playing at a good level. I mean, everybody's playing bad.
Yeah.
And the quarterback has to hide that sometimes, and he doesn't have the capability to do it. He looks slow. He looks old. He looks done. Is he done in Jacksonville? Is this Minshew's team and the locker room stuff? Next on ESPN 690.
Away from the football field, Jags players like to hang out at Topgolf. So we decided, what if we put football and Topgolf together for the Jags players? We call it Jags Report Live. It's the newest show in Jacksonville, and you are invited to our weekly Topgolf party, Mondays at 7 p.m. Meet Jaguars players, talk football if you come for the show, buy an hour in a Topgolf bay, and get an hour free. Bring the family, your friends, and we'll meet you there. Action Sports Jax, Jags Report Live, Mondays at 7 p.m. at Topgolf on CBS 47.
Hey, boss, I could sure use some cheering up. Hey, do one of your holiday poems for me, would you?
All right, how about this one? 'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the town, Safe Touch was gone. They were nowhere to be found.
Oh, I like it already.
The do-it-yourself alarms, just as simple as pie, claim to be good, but crooks know it's a lie.
Yeah, we do.
No more stressing about Safe Touch's response guarantee, 'cause the do-it-yourself alarms don't have one, you see?
Do-it-yourself alarms have no response guarantee?
And that's why it's plain to see that the Crooks Are Us rule reminds us every day staying away from Safe Touch houses is the price we gotta pay.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
SiriusXM is on free in your car right now through December 3rd, and you've never heard anything like this. More channels, more stars, more for you. Just turn your radio on to SiriusXM and follow your school on ESPNU Radio. Plus, hear your music, news you need, things that make you laugh, and more. Listen free on the SiriusXM app and online, too. Visit SiriusXM.com/listenESPN to learn more. Don't miss a single moment.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Lose weight forever. Well, that's what our clients are doing after visiting McGowan Medical Centers. See, the plan that we have is not for us to keep you coming back. We will teach you how to eat right, live right, and look right. Forever. Call us for your complimentary consultation and make this the last call you'll ever need regarding your weight loss. It's a lifetime, lifestyle-changing weight loss program designed just for you. Give us a call now. Don't wait. 350-5544. McGowan's got your back, literally, and your waistline too.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Thank you for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Everyone is loving our in-depth coverage of the Jaguars, the NFL, and all things sports. Another thing our listeners will love, your business. Let's work together and get you on the fastest growing sports station in Northeast Florida. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 904-245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
What's up, Jacksonville? Angie here, president of Angie Staffing. If you're finding it harder and harder to find the right candidates or your ads are letting you down, call me, Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. I have over 20 years of experience right here in Jacksonville. I can help with anything, accounting, finance, legal, even that one position that's impossible to fill. Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. We're bringing back the hustle.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
To the season with the struggling Nick Foles serving as the backup. A game with plenty of playoff implications on Monday Night Football. Vikings at the Seahawks. After a 2-2 start to the season, Minnesota's won 6 of 7, is a half game back of Green Bay in the NFC North. And QB Kirk Cousins has played a big part in that turnaround, notes ESPN's Tim Hasselbeck.
I think he's a perfect fit for what they're trying to do offensively in Minnesota right now. Gary Kubiak ending up there is probably the best thing to happen for Kirk because they run the football, and off of their run game comes all of this creative misdirection, pass plays where they get big stuff down the field.
Seattle's a half game back of San Francisco in the NFC West. Monday Night Football, 6 Eastern, ESPN TV. College football, Washington coach Chris Peterson stepping down after the team's bowl game after 6 seasons. Defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake takes over. Peterson will assume an advisory role for Husky Athletics.
Select Craftsman tools are now available at Napa, like a Craftsman 20-volt cordless impact wrench kit for just $49.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how at participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Ooh, what you gonna do? Gonna give me some of that Gonna Mitchell.
What the heck was that? Was that you?
That was me. Yeah, I was about 4 Miller Lights deep, and I apologize, Brent. I was in the press box, I guess. Yeah. No, that was not me, man. I don't know what that was.
Ooh, what you gonna do? Gonna give me some of that Gonna Mitchell.
That was it.
Wow.
Cruz.
Hey,
that was it.
Well, no, I put a beat to it. I made a song. If you want to hear it,
let's get it.
Yo, you made a song out of that?
A good 30 seconds of it.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go.
It's gonna be alright. Ooh, what you gonna do? Alright. Gonna give me some of that Gonna Mitchell. It's gonna be alright. Gonna Mitchell. Alright. Gonna Mitchell. Alright. Give me some of that Gonna Mitchell.
Kuz.
It's unreal.
That's the most impressive thing Kuz has ever done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here on the show.
That was very nice.
And it's the best use of star 690 ever.
I mean, if that's not selling points to the sponsors, I don't know what more you guys want from us.
I know.
Let's be honest.
I mean, if you're not listening to this show, it's your mistake.
Yeah. Making radio history, Brent. One day at a time, man. Radio gold here at ESPN 690.
I literally was sitting in my office listening to the voicemails, and when I heard that, I went, I'm getting nothing else done today. I am just going to turn this into a song.
Nicely done.
That is good, Kuz. Very good. Brent Martineau, former Jag Austin Lane. Kuz here. By the way, everybody's Thanksgiving good. Kuz, did you get the story here? Were they surprised by your arrival, or were they listening to the show?
They were surprised.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
You didn't ruin
They
it.
don't
I was
listen,
really
yeah. Let's celebrate that, Brent.
Yeah. By the way, what the heck, Kuz family?
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
man. What are
from
we
Philadelphia.
celebrating this for?
We're talking about Foles and the Eagles. I mean, we might just move there.
You know, I'm pretty sure my dad's not wanting to talk about the Eagles right now.
Yeah, probably not.
Sore subject.
But so a good time at home. It was a quick trip, a good one.
I probably should have surprised my mom in a different way because I literally just came up from behind her and grabbed her shoulders and she screamed like she was being robbed in the garage. And my dad came running out.
Well, at least you surprised and got home. That's good. Weather was okay. It's getting a lot of snow up there now.
I was a little worried. Getting back.
Good scene in the Giants game. We got
that was
There's
fun.
nothing better than watching snow games
Snow
on
games,
TV.
man, that's football
You
weather.
know, like ratings go up.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like if
Just
it
'cause of
snows.
snow.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, they
Well-
really do. Because it's fun to watch.
What I'm sure, especially in the South, like in Jacksonville, I mean, it's so uncommon, right? So people are intrigued by it for sure.
Well, up north, the ratings go up because they're probably snowed in.
There's nothing else you can do. Yeah, you're probably at a bar or you're probably at your home drinking a beer.
But
yeah.
I just think there is this it's kind of like watching Gardner Minshew or Nick Foles.
Yeah.
You'd rather watch a game in the snow than in the rain or on a sunny day.
Correct. Absolutely.
On your TV.
Absolutely. I like it.
Everything's tied to Minshew right
It
now.
is, man. No, nothing wrong with that.
How about your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving
good?
was solid, man. Yeah, did a little of
How was the lemon
block
bar?
party. Fun.
Did you
Saw
do
our
karaoke
friends.
for real, or were they kidding?
No, I didn't do karaoke.
You didn't?
No.
I think you're lying.
Dude, I'm not going to do karaoke at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
No, I didn't. They're probably just joking.
They were joking.
Yeah. But no, I saw our friends at Vita De Louis out there. So they had the drinks flowing. So I might have partook in a couple cocktails, but it was a good time.
See,
crowded, man.
You should just
was
retire from
crowded.
this MMA stuff.
And do what? Drink? What are you
But
getting
you
at?
can do a hell of a lot more when you're not in fight camp.
Oh, I got you.
It's like the first drink I feel like you've had in a long time.
It's been a long time, man. Yeah. Yep. The Super Bowl again. I'll probably splurge a little bit.
All right.
We have to play some darts again, remember? You remember how that panned out?
I do. I won.
Yeah, you did.
That's how I remember.
That's all that matters.
All right. Well, I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
What about you? Well, you had to show you. I mean, first of all, went to the best two college football games.
I know how to pick them.
Yeah, I guess you do, man.
It was a great trip, really.
Yeah.
Mississippi State was awesome.
Yeah.
I will say this about, I'm not going to talk about my whole trip, but I saw the game. Those two games.
I saw them as well.
And we actually spent some time in Birmingham, which was awesome. We saw the oldest ballpark in America. That was really cool. Legion Field, where a lot of history is. So the whole trip was fantastic. A lot of driving, but it was fantastic. I am getting old, too. Actually, on the way home from Auburn, I had to pull over and sleep for like 20 minutes because we got back at like 3:30 in the morning.
Sure.
I don't know if I'm usually not that tired.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not going to make it.
Okay.
So,
Smart, though. Smart you didn't fall asleep behind the wheel.
We drive a lot. We drove.
Yeah.
I counted it up. It was a 79-hour trip. And we drove 20 hours. So we drove a lot.
Wow, yeah.
But it was worth it. It was a lot of fun. And the Auburn-Alabama game was everything, right?
course.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was an unbelievable game.
Yep.
And the atmosphere was great.
It definitely delivered.
You know what's really cool is watching a game when you really don't care who wins. Like, I don't love Alabama. I get tired of the Patriots. I get tired of the Alabama. That's true. But I wasn't rooting against Alabama in any way because I wanted Mac Jones to play well.
Of course.
He's a local kid.
Yeah.
And so.
Which, I mean, he showed glimpses. You know, he had those two.
He had those two mistakes. Outside of that, I thought he played really a good football game.
sure.
Now, those were huge mistakes. So
Very big.
let's not sugarcoat it. But
Yeah.
I thought he played pretty good football game.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about Alabama and Auburn and what it all looks like now in the playoff picture in a little bit later on. Plus, we're keeping an eye on Florida State news with the coaching stuff. Bob Stoops' name continues to get back in the mix here. And there's been some college coaching vacancies elsewhere, including at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously that
Washington
game
as
Thursday
well,
night was the guy
Yeah.
takes
Well,
a pee in the end zone
Yeah.
and gets the flag. I mean, it was incredible, that finish on Thanksgiving night.
Well, let me ask you this, too. I mean, does that celebration, did that cost the coach's job, do you think?
I think I would say yes.
Yeah.
I think overall, yes.
Yeah.
And I think it might have kept Mississippi State's coach, Joe Moorhead, his job.
Yeah.
If it flips, you might be looking at a different situation.
Yeah.
Well, some reports out of like Ole Miss, too, that they really like Matt Luke, the players, and think half of them are thinking of leaving because he's gone. So, but there are discipline problems that people had talked about at Ole Miss for a while. So that was one of the reasons, and that just kind of put an exclamation point. Again, you lose to your rival, man. It stings so much. People get emotional. But what I wanted to say about that game is we're leaving the Egg Bowl. It was a good crowd for two teams that are really pretty average.
And to be fair, you guys did not go on the field, right? You guys stay in the stands.
Oh, that's the Iron Bowl. We did not go on the
sorry,
field.
the Egg Bowl. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
Egg Bowl that we went up to. But Iron Bowl we did. We didn't either. We stayed up top.
Okay.
So
the Egg Bowl.
But the Egg Bowl, Mississippi State, you're talking about like a 6-5 team and a 4-8 team. Now the Ole Miss lost. And this is the beauty of college football. This is what I want to experience a little bit, kind of as a neutral observer, watching the different venues, watching the different games, the rivalries. And we were leaving that stadium, and you would think Mississippi State was 10-1 and in the national championship picture. That's how much that game meant to them to win. That's how fun it was. The cowbells were ringing. I mean, it was really kind of cool, that scene.
Yeah.
And that's what college football gives you, I think. Like, you could have fun at a Jags game or an NFL game, but if they beat the Chargers next week and they're 5-8, okay, they're 5-8, great. That was fun to watch. See you later.
Sure.
But again, at Mississippi State, that game, that meant the world.
Yeah.
That they won that game, and especially in the style that they won it. So we had a lot of fun. All right, back to Foles and the Jags and everything else. What do they do with him? I've said I think he'll be on the roster in 2020. Now, this was before this game, and this was before the switchback. I don't think they're cutting him. There's a huge cap hit if they cut him. Most people are going to tell me that they don't think they can trade him. I think you even kind of wonder if they could trade him.
That's what I'm kind of leaning towards right now.
I think they could trade him. I think there's always somebody that's looking for a quarterback. Now, when that would be, I don't know how much you'd have to pay of that. Would it be Osweiler-esque? Do you have to throw in a draft pick as well?
Well, keep in mind, looking for a starting quarterback because no one's going to trade for a backup Nick Foles.
And that's the problem,
this
right?
has to be a starter. Yeah.
Are you convinced now with this move that this is Minshew's franchise?
Yes, because I was very adamant of saying, well, listen, I thought when Foles went in that you can't go back to Minshew. And then I said if Minshew goes back in for Foles, you can never go back to Foles. But what happened yesterday? Minshew goes in, Foles goes out. There's no going back now. And the fact that there's even a quarterback, controversy leading up to today where it's like, I don't know who the starter is going to be. You know exactly who the starter is going to be. As soon as Foles went out, that was the last time Foles, in my opinion, went out as a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Okay, so take money out of it for a second.
Mm-hmm.
The Jags would absolutely want to keep Foles, right? From a strengthening the position? I mean, even as a backup, I know you don't want $22 million on the back.
Yeah,
I said take money out of it.
I know. Well, that's hard to do, man, because it's all about the money in the NFL. But okay, got you.
Well, they might be forced to. By the way, I know actual cash is different than dead cap space, like we're seeing that with the Blake Bortles situation.
Yeah.
But the dead cap can handicap you too. Mm-hmm. And so if you're getting nothing out of that position, it's certainly something to take into consideration, especially when you're so cheap on the other end. Keep in mind, Gardner Minshew's going to make $500,000. Mm-hmm. So I understand it. I understand the optics of that. You can't keep a $22 million quarterback. But my point is they'd be better off having two quarterbacks like Foles and Minshew on the roster without the dollar scenario.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
or should they just get rid of him and draft somebody else and start thinking young in both respects, Minshew and a young guy?
See, to me, especially, and that kind of depends if DeFilippo sticks around, which I think it'll probably be a clean slate.
I would not plan on anybody being around except for you and me.
But and even that might be a little.
That's tenuous, probably, depending on what we say over the next month.
We'll see. Yeah, I can't do any interviews in the stadium. I got to remember like that
my boss texted me at halftime.
Yeah.
He said, "Who's getting fired today?"
Yeah.
I responded, "Me," after I swear on TV. So nobody's safe.
Kept it together. I respect your style. Ideally, Brent, you would want to keep a veteran, especially as a backup quarterback, just to kind of mentor Gardner Minshew a little bit. It is kind of a weird relationship, though, because you are the former starter and now you're mentoring the backup. And, I get that happens all the time. Like, it happened with Flacco and Lamar Jackson a little bit. And all things out of the Ravens camp was that Flacco was fantastic with Jackson when he went in.
Happened with Foles and Wentz.
Happened with Foles and Wentz. So it does happen. Man. If you take money out of it, yeah, by all means, keep Foles. That's fine. Keep him as a backup.
But go get another quarterback in the second. You have 2 picks in the first round. You have,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Are you comfortable with Minshew being the guy? Do we know that much? Are you that confident that Gardner Minshew for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 15 years is the guy in Jacksonville? You're committing to Gardner Minshew.
So,
because it's not just about Foles here.
No,
it's also about
I get
Minshew.
you, man. I get you. So these next 4 games will be very telling, obviously. Do you commit to Minshew? I think that you commit as much as you can. And if there's something that presents itself, I wouldn't draft another quarterback the first, second round. Wouldn't do that at all. I would wait till later rounds if anything, because well, that's where you got Minshew in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So I think
they do have Josh Dobbs on the roster.
They do have Josh Dobbs in the roster. Maybe some presents itself in free agency where there's a cheap backup quarterback option. Go after that as well. But ideally, what you want to do, in my opinion, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, is you want to trade Foles away. But the problem, like I kind of brought up to your attention during a break, was the fact that I can't really foresee a team trading for him, because you got teams like the Dolphins, teams like the Bengals. I think they're pretty committed on drafting, obviously, their first-round quarterback. And that's what teams should do. You should build through the draft. I mean, I can't really foresee, maybe like the Detroit Lions, if Stafford's on his way out pretty soon. I can't really see
a lot of money tied up there.
Yeah, I can't really see a team just, willing to trade, seeing what Foles has done this year, seeing his resume and being like, you know what? Let's bring this guy on our team. Let's let him lead our franchise. So it's kind of a double-edged sword where, yes, Minshew's the quarterback now because Foles played so bad, but Foles has played so bad this year where would a team even want to trade for him in the first place?
What about somebody like the Indianapolis Colts? They've got a ton of money.
Yeah.
They've got, I think, draft capital anyway, but they have a Brissett situation, but they experienced the loss of Luck and even the loss of Brissett for a game. See, I think what other people around the league have to notice, and I think you have to keep an eye on this in Jacksonville too. We don't know how durable Minshew is. He was on the injury report 3 different times in 8 weeks, and his style, and he's a smaller guy, I think it makes me wonder a little bit about health. But around the league, everybody's wondering about health. I mean, the New Orleans Saints kept their train on the track because they paid Teddy Bridgewater a decent amount of money to stay as their backup quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl because they paid a decent amount of money at that time for Nick Foles to be their backup quarterback.
Also, though, give Teddy Bridgewater some credit because he took a pay cut because of the culture that New Orleans Saints have built up, where he wanted to play for less money as a backup in New Orleans than he did as a starter in someplace else.
Yeah,
so props to the Saints culture as well.
And I'm not saying people are going to spend $22 million on it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm wondering if there's somehow you can get rid of that. Some of that dollars, Jags probably get stuck with some of it anyway. And I would try to do whatever you have to do and get rid of everything next year.
Well,
and there's one other caveat here.
I think we're on the same page with this one. Maybe.
Who the heck's making the decisions?
No, we're not on the same page, okay? No.
I mean, we have no idea if the people coming in as a GM, which I think is going to happen, and the people coming in as a head coach are going to like either one of these guys as a quarterback.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
they're going to be stuck with him in year one.
Listen,
I say.
Yeah. If you go by Minshew's first-year numbers, and any quarterback that comes in, Brent, they're at least going to be intrigued by him. And to me, they would roll with him. Whether it's an old-school philosophy coach or a new-school guy, offensive-minded coach, I think anybody's going to fall in love with Minshew, especially the way the NFL is going with, these mobile quarterbacks. Not saying Minshew's the most mobile, but he does create the plays, right?
Well, shoot, he looks like a track star next to
Foles. So I think any coach that comes...
watching.
Who are we watching?
What's his name? What's his name?
Usain Bolt?
Usain Bolt.
Nailed it. All right.
Who's the other one? It was Carl Lewis is where I was going to go, but I didn't know if you'd get that one.
Hey, well, I mean, yeah, that's a little old school, but I think I remember reading about him in history class, so there we go. Carl Lewis
that was Jesse Owens, probably.
I don't know, man. They all blend together. I'm sorry, dude. That sounded really bad. Carl Lewis, Jesse Owens, very great
better
Olympians.
Than you said it, not me.
Very, very great Olympians nonetheless. But I think any coach would be intrigued by Minshew for sure. But the other caveat that we have to keep in mind here, and I think it would be, I'm not saying it's the ideal scenario for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it would free up a lot of money. And I'm never going to tell anybody in the NFL to retire. I'm not going to say anybody to walk away. But you have to wonder if Nick Foles is kind of on the back nine of his career now. Because think about it. Yeah. He had it all set up in Jacksonville, right? Like, you had a good thing in Philly. You come to Jacksonville. Your offensive coordinator is John DeFilippo. You have experience working with him. Everything was in place for Nick Foles to be successful, okay? Didn't go his way. He failed. And now we'll see if he's going to stay on the Jaguars or go someplace else. But if that's the case, would you even want to go someplace else? Or nonetheless, would you even want to be a backup quarterback anymore?
Yeah, and I think that's a fair question. I try to put myself in these guys' situation, even though it's impossible. You can do that better.
Sure.
But
and don't forget, this was a guy that was ready to retire.
He has contemplated
things.
The space he's in right now is he's at peace with himself. Now, this is a tough one in the last 24 hours, but you can get the sense that he's at peace with whatever the heck goes on, right? Yeah. Eventually. It's been a tough going here in Jacksonville. From the miscarriage with him and his wife, and in the offseason, this start to the year with a broken clavicle, Minshew all of a sudden raising and changing kind of the dynamic of this whole quarterback situation. I mean, if they had Joshua Dobbs as the backup quarterback and not Minshew, I don't think we'd be railing on Foles because it's the best year. Now, he probably would be because of the way he's played, but it wouldn't be like get him out of town. It's like, this is just a lost year. But Minshew has created this different dynamic that has really changed it for Nick Foles. And so could you see a sense of that? I'm going back to L.A., man. I'm going out to California, and let's just live life. Let's just do the next thing. And maybe this is a sign that we should do the next thing. I don't know. We have no idea. And his head is not in that place right now, but where will it be? I'm just telling you this. I am not convinced. This is all happening really fast, to the point of so fast that I'm not convinced yet that he's not in Jacksonville next year. I really am not there. I know everybody else is like, ship him back to Philly or this or that. First of all, you said it. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of money tied to this thing.
Yep.
And secondly, I got to see more from Gardner Minshew. And I almost feel like I haven't seen enough from Nick Foles to really make that kind of conclusion already, which sounds silly because we've seen him play really bad football these last 2.5 games. Understood. I get it. But for that kind of investment, I mean, that's like buying a brand new $50,000 car, man, and driving it for a week.
Yeah.
And saying, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Did you give it enough time? I mean, maybe you did. And the answer there might be you did. Maybe you did. You know it. You don't like it.
Yeah.
But there's also a chance that maybe you need to give it another week or two.
True, but at the same time, when you got that car, that $50,000 car, you always test drive it first, and you find out a lot about that. In the test drive, you find out a lot about what kind of car that it's going to be, and if you're going to invest in that or not. Well, the Jaguars got their test drive in the past 3 games right now with Nick Foles.
Yeah,
and if you're the Jaguars, I wouldn't pull the trigger on that deal. Now, here's a sad thing. You have the car already, all right? The car's in your garage.
Yeah, you paid for it.
You're pot committed. Use Dad's credit card, and Dad's ticked off too, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that situation's going on. So you either have the opportunity to try to trade the car or, just get rid of it, wash your hands of it because you don't like it, or you make the best of the situation and it sits in the garage and you go get another. We'll see what happens. But I think from that perspective, I get it. The sample size, 3 games, it's not a lot. But the sample size of Minshew, it's not a lot either. So from that perspective, once again, do you roll with the vet? Do you roll with the young guy? And I think you roll with the young guy.
What's the Kelly Blue Book on Nick Foles right now? Sure as hell ain't $88 million.
I got 2. If I can weigh in
By
on
the way,
this.
if I'm our Cox, what do we own? What part of that? What's the car thing?
Oh, it is Kelly Blue Book, I think.
Is it?
Mannheim is just. Are you thinking about Mannheim?
Yeah.
Mannheim is what we Auto Trader. Yeah, Mannheim.
Auto Trader. So
Yeah.
should I really said an Auto Trader reference rather than the Kelly Blue Book? 'Cause that's what I'm
I
getting
don't
at.
know.
Just
I don't
stay
know.
within
I
the
should know
company
the answer
lines.
to that, but I don't know. We
Okay.
work for Cox.
I'll say Kelly Blue
We work
Book,
for
yeah.
Cox Media Group, not Cox Enterprises, anyway.
Yeah, good call.
As of sometime later this month, probably. Anywho, I digress. Real quickly though, 2 thoughts on that. Number one, you talk about whether he retires. What's the financial impact of that if he were to retire for both him and for the Jags?
Well, it
in other words, does it
done.
wipe off the books all
Yes.
the other money? The money's the guaranteed money is still paid, and that's it.
Yeah,
and then does that not count against the cap and all that other
So
stuff?
I think a percentage of the guaranteed money, correct? Or would it be all of it?
I'm pretty sure guaranteed money is
Okay.
guaranteed money.
Okay.
So
Now,
that's the
I have to
question I would
double-
ask.
Double down on. I have to double check on that. But I also think everything else goes away. Now the dead money is something that's. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
But I'll check on that. That's a good question.
Those are good questions to ask because to me,
Like right now-
I don't know how much of a good situation that would necessarily be for the Jags.
But I don't think Telvin Smith's costing them anything. He's on that reserve retired list.
That's
His
definitely not
salary-
costing them anything.
But even dead money wise, I don't think it does.
That I agree with.
Well, so then
maybe
his
this
wouldn't
is-
either.
this is
So I
the
think
same.
the only thing out there would be the guarantees.
Which I assume they've already cut him the check for that whopping whatever it was,
No, that
30
is
some, or is that a yearly thing they've got to pay and it's already been accounted for as far as the cap and all that?
It depends. It was over the first 2 years was where he was going to make a ton of that money.
Right.
I didn't get a second contract, so you're asking the wrong dude here. I don't know, man.
Anyway,
I just
bottom line is-
got
bottom
a
line is-
bonus, and that was great.
Bottom line, as far as going forward
I
is
think the
concerned,
best thing for the Jags
would be for retirement.
For retirement.
Yeah, fair
Let's just
enough.
say that.
Okay, here's the other thing I would throw into this mix is you're talking about a future coach, which is a bit, a fairly safe assumption at this point in time. But
Fairly safe.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What do I know? But if there is a new coach, I mean, you don't think a new coach is going to take a job not already knowing what his thoughts are on who's going to be the quarterback. In other words, it's the most important position on a football team. Number one, is this going to hurt in attracting a head football coach? And number two, that football coach ain't coming here without a plan in place. I mean, in his interviews, he's going to have to say, I really like this young kid, or I think we need to stick with Foles. That's going to be part of that process of finding the next coach. That, to me, is why this has got to be kind of a decision made even before you hire that new coach, right?
So, you're correct. And here's the thing with coaches, though, John, and whether they get an offensive-minded coach who takes over the reins and, calls the offense, or if they get an offensive coordinator to replace John DeFilippo. The point is, whoever comes in is going to be very intrigued by Gardner Minshew because he is so young. And coaches have an ego about him, whether it's the head coach or offensive coordinator. And coaches look at Gardner Minshew and be like, I can make him play my system because he's young. He hasn't been molded to a different system. Like, I can create him basically in my image. So from that perspective, I think any coach that comes in or any offensive coordinator that comes in is going to be super intrigued by it and actually embrace the challenge, I think.
This, we are on the same page because I think you're exactly right.
And
I think any coach that comes in, especially offensive-minded coaches, they have this arrogance about them that they can get you to play quarterback in the NFL.
And that's the decision, in my opinion, where it's already been made then, because let's be honest, what else does Jacksonville, I mean, when we're talking about attracting a good quality coach, whoever that might be, throw out any name, right? What is it? Why would you come? If you're a promising young coach with the future ahead of you, what is it about Jacksonville that's going to make you want to come here?
Well,
I mean, I know why I'm here. I love Jacksonville. I'm not saying it.
No, you're saying from a football standpoint.
I'm saying from a football standpoint. Why?
Well, I actually think there are a bunch. And by the way, it's not 1 out of 32 jobs. There's probably be 1 out of 6 jobs that are available in the NFL.
Right.
And I think, depending on how they view that
Minshew's
quarterback.
a big part of it is what I'm trying to get at
Well,
here.
I think the quarterback situation, the fact that I've got at least something down there, whether it's Foles, Minshew, just Minshew, I've got something that I don't have to go. Maybe I don't like anybody in this upcoming draft, and I don't have to waste a draft pick there. I also think this job will be attractive to GMs and coaches.
With all the picks.
With the number of picks,
Yes,
the draft
agreed.
capital, with the amount of space you can create in the cap with Calais, AJ, all these different guys. And I also believe there will be a common sense around the league that there is a decent amount of talent on this roster.
In other words, there's hope. That's what I'm getting at,
Well,
Brent.
I think people will look
talent.
at DJ Chark, and they'll look at Josh Allen. They'll look at Jawan Taylor, bad game yesterday, but they'll look at even Fournette. They'll look at, I think, even Miles Jack and say, bad year, we'll figure it out. You know,
Get him in the right
they'll
position.
look at some of these guys and say, hey, I actually think this is an attractive job from, again, draft capital, decent amount of players, not stripped all the way down. The cap space that could be available in free agency, and I think the quarterbacks could help them. Although, if you get, say, a Josh McDaniels, right? Say you go get Josh McDaniels might come in here and say, I don't like those 2 guys. I want my own guy. I think we should go spend those 2 first-round picks and trade up and get this guy. Well, then you start doing – this is what's hard about the NFL when you have change. And this kind of felt that way with Blake Bortles, right? It was like, well, hey, Tom Coughlin, come in here. Doug Marrone, come here. But here's what you have. You have Blake Bortles, and we really like Blake. We want you to do whatever you can with Blake. You help Eli Manning, and you fixed Tiki Barber back in the day, and you fix this guy.
Yeah.
And it kind of felt like that. Well, do you want to give this new person potentially coming in that, here's your quarterbacks, make it work? And I don't know if all guys do like that.
But that's my point. That decision from Khan and his inner circle will have to be made ahead of time, right? Because they're going to have to say, are we going to go get a guy who's going to work with what we have? Or are we going to go get a guy who's going to say, I'm blowing this thing up, I'm going to get my people, and let's go?
Well, that's vetted in the interview process.
Right.
And one reason Josh McDaniels, at least that I've heard rumblings in the past, did not get the job is the last time. Because they could have gone, yes.
Oh.
One of the jobs.
I thought he was waiting to replace Belichick.
Nah, well, you could say, listen, we all hear different things.
Yeah.
But and he might be doing that. But one thing he wanted to do is he wanted to rip it all down. And the Jaguars felt like, with the Ramseys of the world, the Ngakwe's of the world, the Miles Jacks of the world, the whoever else was back then, they not even putting Bortles in that situation. Like, well, wait a minute. We don't need to totally rip this thing down. We don't feel like it's in that position. And they were right. Shad Khan at the time made that decision, and that was right. Because in 2017, they went to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
So in that regard, like what Josh McDaniels, but that's my point. In the interview process, that stuff happens. A Josh McDaniels, or somebody, Matt Rule, whoever, you name your guy, they'll come in and be like, I can work with that. I like what you have here. And I think an owner wants to hear that so he doesn't have to rip it all down. Yep. I think that's what he's trying to hear. But he also has to be smart enough to know, you guys suck, and we need to rip this up. And, well, then the owner has to agree with that, right, or not.
And ultimately, in my opinion, I think that's exactly where they're going to have to make that decision. Do we want to get – maybe there's a big-name, sexy coach out there who loves the core of the Jags and will be willing to come in here, and it'll be perfect fit for everybody. Or it's going to more likely have to be that, do we want the young, hip coach who wants to blow it up, or do we want the guy who's maybe not the great coach hire, but is willing to go with what we've got? To me, that's kind of where where it's going to have to be.
And you got to be careful of that part.
Yeah.
You know, I want whoever's going to turn the damn thing around. I don't care how it gets done.
Right.
Because Decembers around here stink. And that's that. It's a mess. The Jaguars are the worst team in the NFL right now. Find me someone who's going to fix it. And fix it. That's your job, not ours. And you're smarter than us. You're supposed to be. But I feel like, you know what? I feel like the fans have been smarter than everybody else. The fans didn't like Bortles. They were right. Fans didn't like Foles. Looks like they're right. You know? Maybe we should just do a freaking poll around here and have the fans pick the next damn quarterback.
It's going to be like the Green Bay Packers of like the fans kind of, own the team. Well, except we run the team.
I mean, I get it. I said
Every
to a
Twitter
call,
poll's going to be out Friday.
I said to South Beach Gary last week, I think it was, if you tell me at the start of the season my team is going to stink in the NFL, you know what? You probably have a better chance better than 50% chance of being right. It's the way the league works. I mean, nobody thought the Eagles would be 5 and what are they? 5 and 7?
5 and 7.
5 and 7. Still in contention.
With a good chance of still winning.
Still in contention.
But that's
Gotta
the way nobody
again.
thought Chicago would be what they're. That's the way the league works. So you're probably going to right. If you tell me a quarterback's going to be bad and you drafted him, you're probably right. He's going to be bad. I mean, it's not like there's a 75% success rate, and the Jaguars. So it's easy to take that side often. But I will say this.
12
the people
years.
have spoken, and the people have been right more often than not
12 years.
around here.
Yeah, 12 years.
And the Jags have not gotten it right, and Shad Khan has not gotten it right.
No.
Because here we are. What you got coming up tonight? Hope you had a good Thanksgiving anyway.
Thank you. We had a great Thanksgiving, a couple days off. Telvin Smith, I heard you mention him.
Yeah, we got to talk about that, too. We haven't got that.
I heard
What's the latest?
Well, so
I heard some not so good things today. I can tell you that, but I know there's nothing official.
Nothing official. That's the latest is nothing official. So the JSO, of course, was the public information office was closed like everything else for the holidays. So basically, we heard back from them today that yes, they served a search warrant, which is what we've been reporting Wednesday night, and that nobody has been arrested yet. So that's where we are. The investigation is ongoing. We don't know what kind of an investigation it is at this point in time, but we can tell you that right now, at least as of 12:15 this afternoon, and we've got calls out to make sure we're updated on that, and we're checking the sites and everything to make sure it doesn't change between now and then. But at this point, nobody's been arrested.
In your opinion, is it a bad sign or a good sign that nothing has happened yet for Telvin Smith? Does that matter?
It doesn't matter because here's the thing. Depending on what it is they're investigating, if it was obvious, let's just say there was some wild speculation that there was that drug bust in that area, general vicinity, and that was somehow related to this. There's no indication that this is at all related to that. And in fact, I would suggest that because nobody's been arrested yet, it's very obvious that it wasn't, because it was an obvious thing happening at that particular location.
Yeah.
So this tells me that
I'm
there's
hearing
something.
it's definitely not that.
This tells me this is something else. And of course, we're all here. Offline, we're hearing lots of different things.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if it is something that we're hearing, it's it'd be more in line with taking your time and making sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and that because once you open that box, you can't close it again.
You can't close it, yeah.
So this would be in line with that. So I would say...
And they took his vehicle, which means that's...
Well, they took a black Escalade from that
vehicle,
property.
Yes, that's a good point.
We
Thanks for
don't know if
clarifying
it was his.
That's right. So they took a vehicle,
They
which
took
means
a vehicle.
They're gathering some kind of
Well, and
evidence
they also
from
had
that.
some evidence appeared to be evidence in brown bags in the crime scene van that was there at the property. But what was in there, we don't know. What they would be looking for in that car, we don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we're still trying to get answers on. We'll have a little update as much as we can coming up on Action News Jax at 5 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. But the bottom line is, to answer your question, you can't say one way or the other. The fact that this is taking a while doesn't tell me good, bad, or otherwise for Telvin Smith.
Okay. And I will tell you this. The ties in the communication have just been off with anybody down at Jags headquarters when it comes to Telvin Smith. Now, some players will say they've talked to him here or there, but I'm talking about like concrete, here's what's happening, here's why I'm not playing, here's the latest. Like, there's nobody in that communication, at least that I can find, that knows, like, hey, what's Telvin been doing? How's he doing? What kind of frame of mind is he in? Is he comfortable with not playing? What's this thing all about? There's not that, like, go-to person. And it's a very unique situation because there are very few people that can still sit there and tell you, hey, this is why he's not playing. This is why this is happening. Very few people that at least will talk, at least that I've been able to try to get in touch with, that know that. It's really unique in this day and age because either through agents or all reports or this or that. Now, we all hear things, but they're all little things. And trying to tie it all together also doesn't even make a lot of sense. The whole Telvin Smith thing is a bizarre thing, and that's without this situation. Now this just adds to it, and whatever this is, and I guess it's unfair. He hasn't been arrested, so it's unfair to say he's done anything at this point.
Absolutely.
We just know that it's somewhat linked to him because of the property.
He owns the house where all of this happened. whether he was even there, we there's just a lot that we don't know the answers to, at least that we can report at this point in time.
He is like the mystery of 2019. In this day and age, that's hard to do.
Yeah, and you can say what you want, but you go from a talent on the field like that to now, basically, as you mentioned, kind of communication dark, right? Like he's not. It doesn't sound like he's
really like
essentially
no
gone dark.
Yeah, I mean, because there's nobody on the team that seems to be. There's nobody from the team that seems to be communicating, and I doubt it's a lack of effort on the team's part. I don't know, but somebody on that team has, I would assume, between players, everybody else tried to reach out to him for whatever reason. Because I've heard other people too who's like, well, why aren't the Jags? I'm guessing they've tried. I'm guessing somebody there has tried, and it just hasn't happened for whatever reason on that end.
Yeah, I can tell you on this thing on Wednesday night, I informed some of the people down there that this was going on. They have no idea. They're not in the loop. And usually, you know how buildings work, man.
Of course,
if it's got to do with a player,
they know it's
an active
or
player,
former player, even.
Even a former player. That's the thing is the only statement we got from the Jags was he's retired or he's on the retired and whatever
reserve list. Yeah,
reserve list, and we don't. It's not our thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, 5:00 tonight.
Yeah.
CBS 47, Fox 30. John Bachman, Tanika Hughes, Mike Borish as well, and we have Jags Report live tonight. Chris Conley will join us from Top Golf at 7:00. Talk about this quarterback situation with the Jags. He's right in the middle of it, catching passes from both guys. So that's at 7 on CBS 47. Come join us at Top Golf. We'll hang out, hit some angry golf balls. And
been doing too much of that, Brett.
I know.
Gonna throw your shoulder out. I'm gonna say, gonna tear a rotator cuff.
All right. Sorry, Kuz, really put you behind on the commercials. So we'll go take a break. When we come back, more Foles, more Minshew, more inside that locker room. That's what I want to get to next. How much of a mess is it inside beyond the losing?
Well,
is it combustible?
More importantly, who's gonna win in a fight? Yannick Ngakoue or Brandon Linder? Who are you taking? I break it down next.
We take you to the cage on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have effectively eliminated themselves from playoff contention with their fourth loss in a row by at least 17 points. In the second half, Doug Marrone tried to get some Minshew magic going, but it was already too late, and the Jags fell to the Bucs 28-11. Here's Nick Foles after the game responding to the negative reaction he was getting from the crowd.
I understand this game. I understand that part of this game. I've been a part of it, but I've also been a part of turning things around, and it's not easy.
And finally, in college football over the break, Alabama lost, so it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, and UF dominated Florida State. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clear skies this evening. The wind's dying down. Temperatures in the 40s before midnight, but morning lows will dip down to the mid to upper 30s around the metro. It'll be a chilly start to Tuesday. A lot of sunshine tomorrow with highs in the upper 50s. With your first alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Biedenbaugh.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
Hey guys, this is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms. Best Bet's annual Winter Poker Series will be starting on January 17th at our Jacksonville location. With 12 poker events, the Best Bet Winter Poker Series has something for everyone, including the main event featuring an $1,100 buy-in with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. Whether you're looking for a low-limit or a high-limit event, the Best Bet annual Winter Poker Series will have a seat for you this January. Experience the best at Best Bet Jacksonville.
I'm Dr. Eric Kim at the Heekin Clinic. I've dedicated my career to helping eliminate joint pain many patients suffer every day. At the Heekin Clinic, we use the most advanced surgical and non-surgical techniques, including robotic-aided knee replacement, which has produced outstanding results for our patients. I'm excited to be part of the Hekin Clinic team and look forward to helping the patients in Northeast Florida live a pain-free life.
The Hekin Clinic, complete orthopedic care specializing in total joint replacement. Visit HekinClinic.com for more information or to set up an appointment.
If you've been thinking about LASIK and are tired of wearing glasses, we invite you to visit Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialists. Hi, my name is Akbar Hassan, and I am proud to be a member of the best team of LASIK surgeons in Northeast Florida. I first came to Jacksonville in 2002 after completing my LASIK fellowship at Duke. I served as lead LASIK surgeon at the Mayo Clinic for over 10 years before partnering with LASIK surgeons Dr. Amit Choksi and Dr. Jerry Mehta. Our combined surgical experience of over 25,000 LASIK cases simply cannot be beat. At Meta Custom Vision, our team of fellowship-trained surgeons and dedicated staff is committed to providing the highest quality LASIK. We're proud to offer LASIK with the most advanced and safest technology. We believe when it involves our eyes, nothing but the best will do. Come see why thousands of patients have chosen us for their own eyes and their families. Please call 268-EYES or check us out on the web at metalaser.com. Why wait when you can have a lifetime of great vision ahead of you? Come visit Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialists. We're the official eye care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Shop the 904.
We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
If you're looking for unique gift ideas that have a real beach and unique Jack's flavor, check out the Caribbean Connection Clothing Store on 3rd Street in Jacksonville Beach. You'll find all kinds of unique fashions and gift ideas.
When you shop the 904, you're also giving the gift of helping your local community stay unique.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
The holidays are on the horizon, and that means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brett Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or hey, maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, pasta dishes. Everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach.
New flavors and a rating that would make man jealous. Hey everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brett Martineau. Vita de Louis recently got a 98 rating. It's new and it's getting rave reviews.
Made in Tequila, Mexico and shipped directly to Jack's Beach. Vita de Louis is available in 3 flavors.
And those flavors are Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Try all 3. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste. For merchandise and more, visit VitaDeLouis.com.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
For hungry families, for those facing depression, for nearly anyone in need, we're here. We're Jewish Family and Community Services, supporting people of every age, race, and religion. Jewish Family and Community Services. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
And this guy writes in, where was all this Masvidal love before his recent success? Real fans have had his back for a long time.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Coaching is the only thing wrong with the Jaguars. You have receivers stopping on their routes. You even have a guy like Fournette running out a swing pattern to the outside, cutting in when he should be staying to the outside, not turning his body upfield. It's just a lot of basic stuff that those terrific players are not doing, and coaching is the reason why.
The T is silent.
Both of them. I'm trying to figure out who that sounded like to me. Like that sounded like, I'm not saying like I know the person. I'm just saying it sounded like somebody you hear talk a bunch.
Could we hear that a little bit just again? Not the whole thing, just a little glimpse.
Coaching is the only thing wrong with the Jaguars. You have receivers stopping.
Right. Think about, no, you keep playing it.
You even have a guy
Does this
like
have like a Mark
Fournette
Richt sound to it?
Running out a swing pattern to the outside.
He's got a little Mark Richt cadence because
Mark
Richt kind of pauses in the middle of sentences, like as he's going. Yeah,
I can see that.
I get that.
I got it.
Hey, thanks for calling, Mark Richt.
Thanks,
on
Coach.
Star 690. We appreciate it.
Let's step and get our players' names right, though, right? But you're right, though, man. It's all good. I know you've been on.
Coach, while you were in Georgia, you didn't recruit Fournette to Athens.
Oh, man.
Oh, awesome. I hope you're having a good Monday. I don't know how you can be.
But please keep calling people. We won't make fun of you too bad.
I know how you can be. There's no Jags game today. Yeah. And Minshew's the guy. I mean, talk about a spark around town.
Yeah.
Minshew's the guy. Fans do love this. This is fun with Minshew, and they love it. I hope he's like a Hall of Fame quarterback. Yeah. I just hope. But why in my mind does it say it can't happen because it's Jacksonville? He can't be like that good, right?
It's cursed,
like
right?
The bubble will burst, the balloon will go out.
Yeah.
It didn't in London already once?
Listen, and I think in this whole grand
He's a
scheme of
first-year
things,
quarterback, man. You guys got to remember that.
I understand that, but if you were in Doug's position back then and in this team's position at 4-5 and coming off a bye week, and they created this offense for Nick Foles and John DeFilippo, and you saw that performance in London from I don't blame them for making that switch. Now, we're not talking practices. We don't know what it looks like all the time. I don't know if I can blame them for making that switch at the time. It's the same thing about when they added him. We talked about at the top of the show. Was that a good move? It felt like a pretty reasonable move at the quarterback position to upgrade from Blake Bortles for the dollars you were getting, and a guy that, compared to Dwayne Haskins or others, that I said, you know what? I think that's a good move. So I can't sit here and say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. I don't think I would have said I told you so on either one of those instances.
Speaking of practices, though, were you kind of surprised? I'm pretty sure this soundbite came from Minshew where he was saying that he got more reps with the ones like during practice.
Because Marone had said it first.
Yeah, okay, Marone said it first.
Marone said it in his press. I was at Marone's press conference, and I know other folks were, and then they asked Minshew about that.
Yeah.
Because Marone basically said, hey, we've been treating Minshew differently than maybe you would a normal backup quarterback because of the fact that they want him to develop. Normally, when you get in season, you're thinking backup quarterbacks getting backup reps, but they had been running extra stuff after practices for Minshew to keep him developing and moving forward, which is a rarity in the NFL.
That's honestly, I've never heard of that before, to tell you the truth. Because, you have your starter and you have your backup. And the backup, he leads the scout team and he gets the backup reps. He doesn't get the first team reps. So for Doug Marone to come out and say that, maybe it's telling, yes, that they want to develop Gardner Minshew. Okay, but to me, it's more telling the fact that they had zero confidence in Nick Foles going against the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, I don't interpret it like that. No, I don't. I think they saw good things from Gardner Minshew in those 8 games, and they said, we do not want to. What was the big fear? Why did you want Minshew to stay? You thought it would stunt his growth as a young quarterback. So they said, listen, you know what? You might be right, Austin Lane. We might stunt his growth because he's not going to play right here. We just feel like this is going to give us a little bit more of our offense. This is going to take us next level, especially after watching what happened in London. Again, I'm trying to think like them, but I'm saying They didn't take away the reps. They didn't take away the reps from Nick Foles. They added
a 7-on-7.
But they
extended practice for Minshew. They made it longer. I'm saying that doesn't happen, Brett.
Well, it should maybe. Why don't you do that more?
Do you think Andy Reid was doing that with Patrick Mahomes? They knew they had a special guy in Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not convinced he was.
Alex Smith was still getting the first team reps.
So they wouldn't run an extra 7-on-7 with Mahomes because they say this is our guy of the future?
They weren't going to extend practice.
How long does an extra 7-on-7 take? 8 minutes?
I'm just saying you don't cater to the backup quarterback, but all right.
I think it might be somewhere in between. Maybe you're guarding against injury concern, knowing that Nick Foles is fresh off that, the injury that he suffered in that first game. And let's face it, he's had injuries in his career. Maybe you're kind of doing that as a fail-safe, kind of keep it in between. I don't know.
Well, listen,
a little devil's advocate.
Dan Mullen at Florida does something, and I don't think a lot of coaches do this. He splits the reps with the quarterbacks. And that allowed Trask, I think, a little bit to be ready with the ones. Like he gave them reps with the ones was the story. I was like, what? That's unusual. Now, some of that might be I don't have a quarterback that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
So I better be ready? Maybe. But maybe did Urban Meyer do that back in the day when they had 3 quarterbacks that helped win a national championship? I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying is it that far-fetched to say, hey, guys, hey, Austin, we're going to do an extra 7-on-7 in practice. By the way, we're going to eliminate one meeting. So you don't have to stay 15 minutes, but we want to help this kid grow. He did a lot. He put us in this position. Isn't it more like an attaboy? We're showing some love for a guy that saved our season to this point and put us in a spot. You can't do that in the NFL. Why not?
No, because to me, there's a starting quarterback and there's a backup quarterback. And as soon as you said Nick Foles is a starting quarterback, then you cater to his needs. And if you're doing 7-on-7, it's just extra stuff you don't have to be doing. It's more risk to being injured and stuff like this. But for the most part, it's just more risk of you're not focusing on Tampa Bay anymore because now you have to focus on a backup quarterback and giving him his reps. I thought we're prepping for Tampa Bay. I thought we were getting ready for the game. Now we got to make sure this guy is feeling confident as a backup quarterback. No, if I'm a player, I'm not going for it.
How about, are you going for fights in the locker room?
Oh, I'm going for that.
What do you make of the fights?
The wall that says it all. Okay, no. Honestly, man.
Well, by the way, I shouldn't phrase it as fights.
Let's go ahead and set it up,
though. It was a tense locker room.
Yeah. And by my calculations, what I read, it was between Yannick Ngakoue and Brandon Linder.
Yeah, and some people said, nah, not really, but let's go.
Well, whatever it is, let's go with that. First of all, I'm taking
Yannick
Jan, by the way.
Ngakoue was involved. I can guarantee you that.
Well, and by the way, I'm taking Jan over a lot of people just because he plays defensive line. I think defensive linemen are a little crazy. Brent, you can attest to that. You have to deal with me every single day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just did for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, but from that perspective,
I have a bat over here.
Listen, when it comes to fighting in the locker room, Brent, every single team that I've been on, and I've been included, there's been fights in the locker room. So you can't put too much stake into that, especially when you're losing.
Fights in the sports office.
But I'm going to say from the miscommunication standpoint, we'll get into that after the break a little bit because I think the coaching in the front office has a direct correlation with what's going on in the locker room
I'll
right now.
set the scene on this a little bit more. And was it a bigger picture kind of moment than just a frustrating loss? Next on ESPN 690, Brett Martin, Austin Lane, Coos, and Action Sports Jack Stewart Weber along as well.
pros. For the brands you trust to get the job done right, start with Lowe's, because Lowe's has the power you need and at the right prices. Stop in today and pick up a Metabo HPT 1 3/4-inch 15-degree pneumatic roofing nailer for $40 less, now just $249. And stock up on saw blades and save $4 on a Spider Framing and Construction 7 1/4-inch 24-tooth steel circular saw blade, now $598. Whatever you need to get the job done, and every job after, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11 U.S. only.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
If you're tired of wearing glasses or contact lenses, call Meta Vision at Florida Eye Specialist, 268-EYES. They believe when it involves your eyes, you deserve the very best. Just ask golf professional Todd Bork.
I thought about LASIK for years, and I just finally got to the point where I'm getting older and I'm frustrated. I'm wearing distance glasses. Now it's raining, and that just doesn't work at all. I've tried contacts and failed miserably. Can't get them in and out of my eyes. So I just said, you know what? I'm not able to read the greens the way I think I need to. I want to do this for my golf and for myself. But I'm thrilled that I had it done. I can actually see to drive without glasses, and I can see the golf ball, and that's very important to me.
See why thousands of patients have chosen Meta Custom Vision and Florida Eye Specialist for their eyes. Call 268-EYES or online at metalaser.com. Hurry before your HSA or Flex spending accounts expire at the end of the year. Your eyes deserve the very best. Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialist. 268-EYES.
Okay, they definitely don't have Safe Touch security here. Look, you see that cheap plug-and-play alarm system right there on the table?
Yeah.
All we gotta do is crash through this door here, walk over to the cheap system, and smash it.
Boss, I got a better idea. Instead of smashing that cheap alarm, we could just unplug it and take it with us. Then we could regift it.
Oh, you may be onto something here. We could give these do-it-yourself alarms to people we don't like, and then break into their house a week or two later.
Boss, that's a dirty, rotten thing to do.
What, you want to give them to someone you like?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
You know, I even heard they have a warehouse full of these cheap alarms from all the unhappy customers who've returned them.
Well, good thing these folks didn't return theirs yet.
Right. So let's crash and smash now before they call Safe Touch.
You got it, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Hey guys, this is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms. Best Bet's annual Winter Poker Series will be starting on January 17th at our Jacksonville location. With 12 poker events, the Best Bet Winter Poker Series has something for everyone, including the main event featuring an $1,100 buy-in with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. Whether you're looking for a low-limit or a high-limit event, the Best Bet annual Winter Poker Series will have a seat for you. This January, experience the best at Best Bet Jacksonville.
It's holiday time, so treat yourself to some golf or give the gift of golf. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. The Golf Club at Southampton is one of the most fun tracks to play in the area, and it's very affordable. It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 as well. Go to golfsouthampton.com for tee times, gift cards, and gift packages. There are 9 different options to choose from. It's the perfect gift. The gift of golf at Southampton this holiday season. Visit golfsouthampton.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker dazzles this Christmas. Bring the whole family together for the original holiday tradition. Step into a simpler time filled with sweet dreams and spectacular magic. Experience world-class artists, stunning costumes, and towering puppets on the Gift of Christmas tour. It just wouldn't be Christmas without Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker. Get tickets now at nutcracker.com.
Appearing at the Florida Theater December 22nd. Get your tickets today at nutcracker.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
It's gonna be alright. Ooh, what you gonna do? Alright. Gonna give me some of that.
So that guy, that's all he said.
Yeah.
That's all he said.
Do we know who that is? Do we have a number? We in contact with him?
We love him.
Well, I'm curious to see what the...
Somebody sent that in on Star 690?
Somebody on Star.
No, Coos remixed it.
Somebody sent the original was just.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I got in late.
Ooh, what you gonna do? Gonna give me some of that Mitchell.
That was the call.
And it sounds like he was driving because there's some wind in the background.
Sure.
Well, you really like investigative reporting.
Well, no, it's his Bose headphones, man. They really articulate everything going on.
Should we push on the Telvin Smith case here?
I'll get some answers, man.
Good job, Coos. That was some good editing there.
Killed it.
This is what is all about this business right here.
This
you
is
take like
here.
a 5-second phone call and you make what Coos made out of it.
This is why you're here, Coos.
So his
Good
best
job.
moments. I mean, it took till December, but
Good
here we
job.
are.
Yep.
And right now we are just looking for good moments.
Yeah.
After covering this Jaguar football team.
Few and far between, Brent.
Between January vacation planning, yes. Booking that cruise tonight. Here we go.
Oh, man. I better sign off on that, I guess.
Yes, that'd be good.
Unfortunately, January gets kind of worse to cover
with
with coaching changes
regime.
and stuff like that. They're the worst to cover.
But it's also like Super Bowl and playoffs and stuff. I like that.
Well,
no?
I get it.
Okay,
But I'm
yeah.
just saying, we would like to have to do a show every day because the Jags are in the playoffs.
Sure.
Rather than cover the firings and hirings.
Oh, gotcha.
Because hirings are the worst. Like Florida State. You know how many texts I'm getting right now that Bob Stoops is close to a deal, like they're actually going to announce it tomorrow?
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, is that out there right now? I mean, but I've texted people telling me they hear it's happening.
There's a tweet that says he threw out his Christmas tree, which means he's absolutely taking the job in Tallahassee.
Yeah, man, it's like December, 2nd right now? What are we doing?
But this will be the whole month of January.
Yeah.
I'll be in the shower.
Yeah.
I'll be out to dinner with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be playing ball with the kids. And a text will go off, and it's like, oh, and you got to call. 15 people will be like, hey, is anything happening? Oh, no, okay.
Yeah.
But you have to do your due diligence on it.
Sure.
So That's what the whole month of January will now be like.
We'll just get it done by the 18th because that's when the phone goes off for that cruise.
Brent, to me, it's fun though because you can kind of like analyze like who should the next candidate be. Like who?
That's good
who
for
would fit?
sports radio. Yes.
Yeah,
dude, it's fun. But when you've done it 5 times in 12 years, it gets kind of
well,
old.
This is my first time, man. I'm gonna have fun with it. All right. So don't hate me because it's getting stale for you guys. You can spice it up a little bit if you want. I'm gonna have fun doing it. So
it's also a little different.
You're in charge.
I'm running the show.
There you go.
Let's go.
It's also a little different for radio and TV because radio, if anything happens from 3 to 6, then you're doing it.
Oh, but I'm gonna do some research of coaches that are gonna be available, some dark horses. I can't wait, man.
That's fine.
I'm embracing this.
And we'll get you to compare them to clothing lines, like
Exactly.
which coaches, which.
The best part about radio.
Which coaches are like Valentine's Day candy? Like, what are we doing?
We'll do it. That's good.
Yeah, waka waka.
The best part about radio versus TV is I can tell you that somebody just texted me and said that the not Jags, the Knowles
Seminoles,
are going to hire Bob Stoops.
Really?
But that's what somebody texted me. I can't say that on TV.
Yeah, for sure. It's just speculation.
Well,
that's what we do in this show.
Me that this is happening right now. That's not.
We
how
have
that...
no idea if it's happening. It's just somebody texted me that it might be happening. So we'll find out. But the Bob Stoops rumors are back.
Yeah,
in Tallahassee.
Well, and listen, and I've been pretty adamant. Like to me, when they fired Taggart the way they did, like during the season like they did, I felt like there was already a plan in place. And to me, that plan was Stoops the whole time. Now, I might be wrong. I might be 100% wrong. But I just feel like if you let a coach go that early like that in the season when you're still trying to make a bowl and everything, I feel like you already had a plan on the back burner.
Yeah, or getting ahead. And now there's like 10 or 11 different jobs out there.
Now they have SEC competition.
Yeah. Ole Miss, Missouri.
Arkansas still too, right?
Arkansas, yeah. And there was a rumor.
That was an early one with Arkansas.
Yeah, I think there was just a Twitter kind of rumor about like Lane Kiffin. I think that was.
I saw one about him being vetted for the job at Tallahassee. I saw that one on Twitter at one point.
So it's just
like, okay.
Now it's just like, oh my gosh, every rumor out there and everybody's throwing stuff out there.
Murray State, too, is available now as well, Brent.
Did they fire the coach?
Yeah, they did. Well, they actually, I think he stepped down. He resigned.
Are you going to apply?
I'm good, man. I'm all set. I'd rather just talk sports with you guys here on the radio show.
Yeah.
How would you treat a situation?
He's quickly learning, by the way, that working in the media has a much longer shelf life than coaching.
Yes, it does.
We know that very well.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yep.
I've outlasted a lot of coaches and players so far here in Jacksonville. Let's just say that.
The entire Jaguars roster already for me.
I'm on a record pace. I've outlasted an owner.
Yeah, that's true. That's tough to do. That's the tougher one.
Very, very adamant, Brent. You're an Iron Man, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah. And by the way, like I'm not high on that Iron Man list.
No, there's a lot of people on that.
So it's unbelievable. But anyway, how would you, as a coach or as an owner or as a whatever, handle the situation that now has been pretty much confirmed? That Yannick Ngakoue and some people say Brandon Linder, or it was at least nose to nose. It was something. And here's what I'll tell you. If you're just joining us, to set the scene, we go in the locker room 10 minutes after. You get a cooling off period. Doug Marrone goes to the podium. We go in the locker room. And listen, the Jags are good to deal with. The locker room, wins and losses. I go in there sometimes. I'm like, oh, my, what are we going to get today? Now, a little bit of that Jalen Ramsey kind of made that 10 times. Like, oh, boy, what are we going to get today?
Sure.
And honestly, we really don't get a whole lot from that. They are very professional. There's not
that
a
has
lot
improved over the years. I will say that.
There's not a lot of like those
That's
highlight
it,
reel kind of sound bites, that come out of there. You almost want a little more, actually. So you leave there like, really, that's it?
Sure.
Like, we do this again? I mean,
you're open for more.
Yeah. You're kind of hoping somebody wants to punch me in the face, which I'm pretty sure they probably do. But anyway. So we go gather in the center because that's where the quarterbacks are coming out. Now, obviously, the big story yesterday is the quarterbacks. You almost don't even, with all due respect, you don't care to anything else.
We were asking, we're like, I wonder who's going to be on the podium. Are they going to do 7 on the podium? Are they going to do 15 on the podium? Neither.
They usually do one.
They usually do one or the other, yeah.
Because of that, they brought both to the center of the locker room. Yeah. But we didn't even try to get anybody else at that time. Calais came up there. Fournette would eventually come up there. Josh Allen comes up there. But in the interim, we're waiting. Mm-hmm. And as we walk in, we kind of hear, you get the sense like something just happened. Mm-hmm. And there's some rumbling, something just happened. And Yannick Ngakoue was walking back toward his locker. Calais Campbell kind of escorting him. And that's where we saw it. And but then there was some of the rumblings about the Linder and Yannick Ngakoue stuff.
Yeah.
Then outside of that, we're sitting there waiting in the center, and there's a bunch of noise coming from the showers. So you can't see anything happening, but you can hear it. There's a lot of noise. And the only thing I saw coming out of there was A.J. Boye comes out shaking his head. Just like, what the heck? Kind of like one of those, like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I just to give you a feel, that's happened before in locker rooms. You've been in locker rooms. But this one did feel a little bit elevated. It felt the tension was pretty high in there.
Sure.
And I think a couple of us even said, this is kind of uncomfortable right here. Like, what's going to happen? You kind of were in that mode, like what's going to happen. So that's the scene. I just want to set the scene for everybody. We never saw punches thrown. We never saw the nose-to-nose stuff, going. Never saw any of that.
Yeah.
But you knew something had transpired.
There's an uneasy feeling.
And you were wondering what else was going to happen.
Sure.
So that's the fairest way I can at least describe what happened. And the locker room was open at that time. So it's like kind of fair game to describe what's happened. I don't think that's that different, but I've covered a lot of losing around here. I would say I threw up a red flag at this one because of the tension, and now you know the disconnect in the front office. The Coughlin stuff, the Marone stuff, the way he's approached it. Last week's unusual news conference. And now the players have really held this thing together. And they've been, even at 4-6, I remember going, wow, man, you didn't know they were 4-6. I think they're doing a good job of keeping it together. With 4 weeks ago in the season, the end in sight, 4 losses by 17 plus or more. I'm starting to wonder now if they are going to keep this thing together and where does it go from here? Because once you lose that, you're screwed, and it can really show up on Sundays.
So, listen, first of all, the Jaguars right now, they're 4-8, right? They got beat by Tampa Bay. So automatically that adds fuel to the fire anytime you lose and you're having a disappointing season, right? Like players are going to be pissed off. So the fact that there's a little, skirmish in the locker room, a little disagreement, not surprised at all, because any losing team is going to have somewhat of that. But I always say, especially in this kind of situations where, players maybe have an easy feeling toward each other, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I've been on a few teams where you may have heard a little rumor here or there. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's exemplified times 100. There is more things going on. And here's the problem. And I'll be honest. When I heard about the whole discrepancy with Yana and Brandon Linder, I'm like, but of course. And do you know why I say but of course? Because look at the front office. It's blatantly clear, and I've said it before on the show, it is blatantly clear that Doug Marone, Tom Coughlin, and Dave Caldwell are not on the same page, and a combination of either Dave Caldwell and Tom Coughlin do not agree with Doug Marone, they don't get to, whatever it is. There's some kind of combination that does not see eye to eye, and that's boiled over into the media. And when it boils over in the media, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. So we've just seen a glimpse of what's going on in that locker room. I think it's a lot worse than what they're letting on. I think there's a huge disagreement going on between the front office. So then that trickles down to the players because the culture is in place by the front office and the coaches. If the coaches and the front office are clashing, how is that going to respond to the players? And let's be honest here. If you're a football player in that locker room and you're 4-8, playoffs are out of the picture. And anytime that you have really nothing to play for except pride and your paycheck, you start doing a self-inventory. And then you start doing an inventory of the team. And you start maybe noticing a couple of things that maybe you wouldn't notice because you have the blinders on. We're going to be a playoff team. For instance, if you're Yannick Ngakoue right now, what are you thinking? You're thinking
getting paid $2 million.
I'm getting paid $2 million
for this crap.
Look at all the guys that they paid before me. Brandon Linder being one of those guys. Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, Norwell. Even this year, Miles Jack.
He might want to take on the entire offensive line.
That's what I'm saying. Miles Jack is another perfect example. So if you're Yannick Ngakoue, and I guarantee he's taking inventory, because why wouldn't you? I mean, you're at the point now, hate to tell you got nothing to play for, man. So you're taking inventory, and guess what? You don't like what you find, man. So I'm sure that kind of adds some fuel to the fire as well. So from the perspective of the top is a mess, the coaches are a mess, it's only going to trickle down in the locker room. And I'll be honest, I'm not surprised. And I'm going to be shocked if it doesn't get worse before it gets better.
And what does worse mean?
These rumblings of disagreements in the locker room, guys getting in fights on the field, whatever it is. It's just things like that. And which we may not even hear about, but they're there.
Where do you think when you were playing? Again, you guys had frustrating years. I mean, heck, that Malarkey year was about as frustrating as it's ever been around here.
Sure.
And again, I know it's frustrating, folks, but I'll take you back to 2012 if you want. We can relive that sucker.
Yeah.
That wasn't pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But
first year I ever covered an NFL team. That was great for me.
I mean,
it's the best season I ever covered in the NFL.
That was not good.
Yeah.
And
that was
I guess
something.
so. You'll get some of the stuff in the locker room, post game stuff, maybe sideline stuff. A lot of people will write that off as it happens. How much will we not see on the practice field? Because Tom Coughlin said last week, and Doug Marrone continues to state, they have an energy on the practice field. They see good things on the practice field. And you don't want that energy to fall apart, but you also don't want people swinging helmets.
No, absolutely. But it's like I said, Brent, like, listen, if you're a player, eventually the blinders come off and you realize that you're not going to make the playoffs. And if you're not going to make the playoffs, a lot of things change. And like I said, if you're checking inventory and you're kind of analyzing everything that's going on, the players aren't stupid. Like we talk about it all the time. There's disconnect between Coach Marrone and Tom Coughlin. The players understand that too. So to be fair, I guarantee the players have an issue with either Tom Coughlin or Dave. I assume Tom Coughlin, because if Dave Caldwell has always had their back, then the players are going to side with Dave Caldwell. I'm sorry, with Doug Marrone over Tom Coughlin. Because, Tom Coughlin, I'm getting really confused right now. Doug Marrone's always had their back. So from that perspective, you have problems with, clicks saying, you know what, forget the front office and stuff like that. Like, I guarantee it's a mess right now in that locker room.
Yeah.
And winning, unfortunately, anymore is not really going to help it because the writing's on the wall.
You know what's so funny is, in a way, you were kind of trying to search for those names of who's in charge.
Yeah.
And doesn't that kind of sum up the problem?
Oh, I know, man.
Because who the hell is in charge?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How much is the owner saying? I can think you could even ask, where does Tony Khan fit in all this?
With his analytics, yeah.
Where is Tom Coughlin in relationship to Dave Caldwell, in relationship to Doug Marrone? But you're saying I'm messing up all these guys' names is an indication of how hard it is to fall in line with what.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's really the big thing. And we talked about it last week when this all came to a head with the news conference with Tom Coughlin. And we had talked about it for 3 straight days before the Marrone soundbite on Tuesday even. And said, listen, it's hard to sustain it. It's hard to sustain, especially through bad times, because the fingers start pointing, man. And that's one thing I've learned covering the NFL for 20 years, not just here in Jacksonville, is when it's going down, when the Titanic is sinking, people start grabbing the life jackets and they don't offer them to the next guy. They grab their own and they fend for themselves. And that happens not just in a locker room, I think, of players. I think that happens in those front offices too. And that happens. That's not just a Jacksonville thing. I think that's an NFL thing because there's a lot of money on the line, a lot of pride on the line. You want to say it's not your fault because you want the next job.
Sure.
So there's a lot that goes into that. And it's interesting to watch people jump ship and jump on their own, not necessarily holding hands with anybody else. Very few times will somebody be going arm in arm overboard.
And listen, I'm actually going to say, I don't want to say it's a blessing in disguise, but to me, it's a little bit of a positive to know that there is some discrepancies in the locker room because you know why? That shows that guys still care. I'll be honest, when I played with Mike Mularkey, when we won 2 games that season back in 2011, I think it was. 2012. Guys were just kind of like, we suck. We got beat again. Like, guys were actually depressed.
Guys were doing what Weber's doing. He's working on his cruise for January.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
We were a close-knit team, but we knew, we weren't going to win a lot of games, right? So, there was no passion. There was no fire just because we knew it was up. So, at least with Yannick Ngakoue, whatever happened in that locker room, at least, there was some verbal, arguing back and forth. It shows that guys are passionate. Guys are obviously disappointed, and guys should be held accountable.
But where does it boil over as the point? You get to that stage, and I think you can almost appreciate that. Doug Marrone even said that very thing. He said guys are still care. He said they're battling. They are battling. He even admitted, he said, I know from the outside it doesn't look like they're battling, but they're battling. And I get it. I believe that. I really do. But with 4 games to go, if you don't fix something and those battles are not being won and you don't show me results when I'm battling, that's a defeating thing, man, especially when you're getting smacked in the face 60 times a game, and every play is a violent play. Yeah, that's something I don't know how you rebound from it. I think the word combustible is the only one I use because it feels like it's there. It's like, okay, do you fix it? Does Minshew help save that? Does he kind of spark some new life? Do you go get a win? And then it slows that down, right? Then you don't have to worry about it. But if you lose by 20 again and you lose to a 4-8 Chargers team, what does this look like at 7 o'clock next Sunday night?
Yeah.
And to the point where last night in the first halftime, weren't you wondering, is Doug Marrone out tonight?
Well, yeah.
I mean, did you, until he made that switch? Like, if he didn't make the switch, I think that's all we would have been talking about today.
We were trying to come up with coverage plans on what we were going to do and, how we were going to approach things. I mean, trying to figure out what what do we do? What do we do if there's an impromptu owner's press conference? What do we do if these things happen? Because it felt very much like that could be coming.
Yeah, and I even said, I said to these guys on our text chain, I said, we might want to catch Shad coming down.
Yeah.
And we don't do that normally, but we might want to see if he's going to talk at all, because that's where it felt like. And then he makes the switch, and I think that now listen, there are a lot of people out here listening and say, well, he still should be gone tonight, should have been gone last week, should have been. I get it, but I'm telling you, it felt like at halftime, like there might be an imminent call. And Shad Khan doesn't want to do that. Like, I can tell you for a fact they don't want to make the move in the middle of a season. So they're trying to ride this thing as long as they can ride it with what they've got. And right now they're riding it into an abyss.
That's the problem, is that you risk losing the fans. I mean, it is the fans that are calling for these things to happen. You risk losing that enthusiasm. But if you really think about it, once you make that change in the offseason, then the ones that are going to be optimistic about it are going to be optimistic about it anyways. And they're going to come right back to you.
And once again, that's kind of the beauty of this whole Gardner Minshew thing, is that it kind of puts a giant cloak over everything, and the people are forgetting about, you just lost to Tampa Bay at home, and you had no shot of winning that ball game. And Tampa Bay is not the best team in the world
11 points against the team that had given up the second most points in the NFL.
Yeah, you talk about the ultimate lipstick on a pig. Sorry to use that reference for you, Gardner, but I just added to your bandana and mustache
on
some
the pig.
lipstick.
Yeah.
The whole brand.
That's what this is. You just said it. They hid the fact. Does anybody know the score of the game yesterday? They lost. They got crushed. I know it was 28-11, but if you ask a lot of people, I'm sure they forgot it because they know this. They know Gardner. My kids stayed until the middle of the fourth quarter because Minshew played.
They would say Minshew won 11-3.
I go down the second quarter and they said, you leaving? Like, what's? First of all, it was like I had grounded them that they had to be there for the first two quarters.
Yeah,
but.
They went to the Iron Bowl the night before.
I know.
They were on a much different high the day before.
When I went and saw them in the second quarter, I said, so which one is better, the Iron Bowl or this? but so we're going into halftime, and I said, so what are you doing? Are you leaving?
Yeah.
I asked Steph. She's like, well, we're going to wait and see if Minshew comes out.
Yeah.
But the whole the whole city was that way.
Sure.
And so I think Doug Marrone's move not only gave his own team a little bit of life, it actually gave him a little life, at least for another few weeks. And kind of did make you forget. That's what Minshew is. He's kind of like this cover-up right now to just an awful, awful scene here in Jacksonville.
Kind of like the thing from Men in Black, like the little pen that they push and it loops everything. It's like, hey, I understand our pass defense probably wasn't the best. Tampa Bay ate us alive. Our offensive line wasn't blocking anybody, but guess what?
Everyone in the stadium, look up at this video board. Here's a picture of Minshew.
We got Minshew. Welcome
You've
back.
been neuralized.
That was the whole crazy thing about Coughlin talking last week. Quite honestly, if they wanted to accomplish anything by saying stay with us, they should have had Minshew go talk.
That's right, though, Brent, because they got Logan Cook, man, second in net punts right now in the NFL. Coughlin was singing his praises.
Is Coughlin going to come back out this week and say, hey, we can still win 4 in a row?
For the sake of Twitter, I hope not.
I'm not done with the Jags. Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jaguars have effectively eliminated themselves from playoff contention with their 4th loss in a row by at least 17 points. In the second half, Doug Marrone tried to get some Minshew magic going, but it was already too late, and the Jags fell to the Bucs 28-11. Here's Nick Foles after the game responding to the negative reaction he was getting from the crowd.
I understand this game. I understand that part of this game. I've been a part of it, but I've also been a part of turning things around, and it's not easy.
And finally, in college football over the break, Alabama lost, so it looks like they're not going to make the playoffs, and UF dominated Florida State. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. Best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clear skies this evening. The wind's dying down. Temperatures in the 40s before midnight, but morning lows will dip down to the mid to upper 30s around the metro. It'll be a chilly start to Tuesday. A lot of sunshine tomorrow with highs in the upper 50s. With your First Alert forecast, I'm Action News Jax meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beards Diamonds.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You have to carefully monitor your health for the rest of your life. And you have an increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Cut. Take 2. Action.
You've been diagnosed with a new purpose, to fight for the amazing life you made for yourself. To look that risk of heart disease square in the face and say, no, not me. You've been given a new opportunity to live. Get started at NoDiabetesByHeart.org.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martin of Action Sports Jax. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you. As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too. And you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Hey guys, this is Allie McDeal from both Best Bet Card Rooms. Best Bet's annual Winter Poker Series will be starting on January 17th at our Jacksonville location. With 12 poker events, the Best Bet Winter Poker Series has something for everyone, including the main event featuring an $1,100 buy-in with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. Whether you're looking for a low-limit or a high-limit event, the Best Bet annual Winter Poker Series will have a seat for you this January. Experience the best at Best Bet Jacksonville.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
This Christmas, Beards Diamonds is giving you more sparkle.
With 20% off everything in their massive showroom, including loose diamonds.
So now you can go bigger on her ring, bigger on her necklace, bigger on her earrings.
Because Beards Diamonds is giving you an extra 20% off everything, including loose diamonds.
Nobody in the town center does that. Plus, you get special financing.
Now through December 24th, save an extra 20% off Beards' already low prices.
It's your last chance this year to save on all wedding bands, designer engagement rings, diamond earrings, and more.
All at an incredible 20% off.
It's the largest inventory in all of North Florida.
If you're popping the question this holiday season, this is the sale you've been waiting for.
But only until December 24th. Get 20% off everything at Beards Diamonds, where exceptional is affordable.
In the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic and Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Marty Smith from ESPN joining us right now.
Everybody wants me to yell either go Gators or go Dogs, and I just yell go Mickey Mouse.
Catch Brent and Austin weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 or ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jack.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I'm sorry. Nick Foles has only played 4 games, and he's been sacked 8 times. Honestly, I'm not sure Nick's the problem.
Is that his aunt? Who was that? Cruz, I want that number. I want a name to that.
You're doing like a call check today.
Oh, yeah. We got to start screening these calls, man.
Be careful to call in the star 690.
This lady's on a mission, it sounded like.
By the way, if you could average 2 sacks a game for the entire season, would you take that? Like per game allowed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would too. It feels like she's pointing a finger at the offensive line in that thing.
I think so.
But 8 in 4 games that's okay. Yeah.
Well, he's been sacked. I don't know. I think the offensive line has been so bad.
They
so
have.
I give if I was Nick Foles and I was Nick Foles' aunt,
yes.
I would be I would be saying
Carol
the
Foles
offensive
is
line
upset.
stinks.
I get it,
I was kidding. But listen,
we have to have fun. You laugh to keep from crying.
Exactly. And yes, Brent, the offensive line, they're not good, and that's understandable. But at the same
it's
time,
exacerbated with Foles, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's my point. Where
and I got to use exacerbated.
Good call on that. Do you like a little Rolodex of you have to use like the word of the day?
Yeah,
or not?
That could be a word of the day.
I'm gonna write that one down. I'm gonna start using that. Not really sure what it means, but we'll get there.
Look it up first and then start using it.
I'm just gonna walk into my house and be
Cruz
like,
will ask you to spell it.
Please, yes.
But no, listen, it does get exemplified, Brent, because he's not that mobile. And I guess the thing with Nick Foles, we talked to Sal Paolantonio about this, is that he was adamant that he gets the ball out quickly.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes when we watch the Nick Foles of the Eagles of the past, maybe we were kind of tricked into believing, well, he's a mobile quarterback, but he gets the ball out fast. Maybe that's what we were looking at. But regardless of whatever it is, he's maybe getting the ball fast with the Jaguars, but the ball's not going where it's supposed to be. And that's the biggest part of it.
You know, I had to say something here that sounds a little crazy.
Hit me with it.
All right, we like this.
Watching Nick Foles run the Jaguars offense, does it look a little bit like Tom Brady running the Patriots offense right now? Because right now, Tom Brady and this offense stink, okay?
Yeah.
That's not like Hall of Fame, greatest player of all time. That's not that Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a slow, immobile quarterback who right now isn't getting a lot of help because he doesn't have a lot of weapons on offense in Tom Brady. Their offensive line has been maybe better than the Jags, but not a lot better than the Jags. They're struggling to put up points.
Yeah.
I mean, that was garbage time stuff yesterday. They had 9 points in that game, really.
I see where you're going with this, Brent. I'm going to actually compare him to a different quarterback. I'm going to compare him to Phillip Rivers. Because I think that when you look at the weapons, like, yes, Tom Brady's kind of doing it on himself, and it's Edelman sometimes, but the running game is bad. I think with the Chargers, you have Melvin Gordon. You have some receivers with Keenan Allen. Williams had a pretty good day yesterday. I think they have the weapons in Hunter Henry as well. But sometimes Phillip Rivers, just for whatever reason, he's not mobile, obviously, but he just looks lost. And, like, he'll just accept that the sack is coming and just go down.
Yeah.
And
he screwed him out of 2 field goals and screwed me out of a win in my pool yesterday, by the way.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate for everybody involved.
That was the worst freaking call ever.
No, it was bad.
That was unbelievable they called that.
It was bad.
Brent literally threw something.
I'm still not over it.
I'm so sorry.
to
Threw
hear
a water
that.
bottle. It was
How the
traumatic.
hell do you call that pass interference?
It was bad. It was bad.
I was
I'm with you.
And they didn't even review it.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I don't have money on it, so I didn't really care, but it was
I don't
bad.
have money on it like
Per
today.
se.
But like it could lead to money down the road. I was in first place. I needed that win. And I can't believe they made that call.
He was distraught.
Phillip Rivers is terrible right now.
He still is. Yeah, no, he hasn't let it go yet.
Listen, if you're going to make that call in the NFL, then they should start making a call on every Hail Mary.
There we go. No, I'm with you. It was a bad call.
Sorry,
But
what were we talking about?
No, I'm
I
saying
am not
how,
over that.
I'm comparing
Really?
right now the way Nick Foles is playing to Phillip Rivers, where the fact that it looks off. It looks complacent, bad decision making, accepting the sacks, and not getting out of trouble. And I think Phillip Rivers falls in that category.
That's a good call.
Especially
I will
with the
say
weapons at their disposal.
Foles doesn't yell at his teammates quite as much as the other two. Though.
Oh no, for sure.
I still would. I think. I like what you're saying. I get it.
Because he
I
has
get what
weapons,
you're saying.
man. You got a lot of weapons at the Chargers right now that aren't getting used.
Patriots,
yeah, they do.
Patriots don't have a Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and I just, from the Chargers' point of view, I just don't know if the Jags have that kind of weaponry.
Sure.
I mean, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are a little different than these, in my view.
No. DJ Chark has the numbers, man.
I know. You know, what's interesting, you said this, and I
Leonard
guess we
Fournette.
really have to ask for DiFilippo.
Mm-hmm.
But it looked like the offensive play calling changed in the second half for Minshew.
Yeah.
Was that something they addressed? Was that Minshew's skill set?
Well,
what was that? Because, I mean, there was some simplicity to the plays. Was that Minshew? Was that everybody got their game intact? You know, because there's a lot of, first of all, there's a belief that Minshew sparked them. But there's also a belief in that locker room after talking to the guys that Leonard Fournette got him going as well at halftime. He gave him a speech, and that was a response to Fournette, too. So while the outside world is, wow, look what Minshew did. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I think there was a spark there. I think that was evident. But I also think they changed some things up, and they got a little bit more focused, whatever. They came out of that locker room not like a team down 25-0 going to play 2 quarters, but with a little bit of purpose. So I don't know if everybody started to pick up their game, so it looked easier. Was the play calling different? But it looked so much different. And as much as I'd love to give all that credit to Minshew, I'm not sure I'm willing to go there. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
Well, no, and I thought the exact same thing. It almost appeared to me like Nick Foles had a backup quarterback's playbook to go off of. And Minshew had the starting quarterback's playbook. Because, like, the one play that really stands out to me was when they're towards the goal line the first time and they scored the touchdown was when D.D. Westbrook did the crazy motion thing where he went back and forth and then went in the flat. Minshew got on the ball, touchdown. Like, that's something we haven't really seen before. And from that perspective, yeah, I get it. Like, Minshew rolled out a little bit, but you can do that same play with Foles. And that's a play that you can do on any part of the field because it should have benefits because the defense was not ready for it. So from that perspective, Brent, like everything that I saw from Nick Foles, whether it was the motions, the formations, nothing was new, nothing was exciting, nothing's like, oh, this is interesting, nothing at all. So I don't, like, it's baffling because I get it. He's not as mobile as Minshew, so maybe you take some of the playbook out. But he's got the experience. He's played in the system before. So why would you? I don't know.
It's the complete opposite of what I expected to happen when he took over. I thought the playbook would expand with Foles in it. It looked nothing different, really. Like the Houston game to, who did they play right out? Indianapolis game?
Yeah.
It didn't look different to me. Like, and again, I don't know how much of that was Foles, how much of that is you have John DiFilippo and Nick Foles, who obviously love, go look at their track record. I mean, love the tight end. And this organization got those 2 guys on board and paid one of them $88 million and really have nothing at tight end to show for it.
Yeah.
So you basically gave these 2 figures that love a position and have succeeded with that position, and like I swear I could catch a touchdown pass with DiFilippo running calls, and if I played tight end. Like if you go back and look at his resume, it says that I could catch a touchdown pass if I played in his offense at the tight end spot.
But they put all the chips in on Josh Oliver and O'Shaughnessy, who are both not playing right now.
And okay, so, and Swaim.
And Swaim
but
as well.
Swaim had been hurt all his career.
And
Josh Oliver's a rookie.
Swaim's never been a receiving tight end. We've said that since day one.
So that's all. I mean, that if I'm Foles and I'm DiFilippo, again, I'm going down that hole. And that's where, see, the disconnect is. That's where when Doug Marrone says on the conference call, and when he says the last couple of days now that he's been in front of a microphone, well, listen, you need more people around him to win. You need more, all those hints that are starting to come. That's like, hey, front office, these guys love the tight end position, and look what you gave us at tight end. Yeah, did we get a little unlucky? Okay. But look what you still gave us at tight end.
Well, and to be fair, the same thing can be said on the defense with their linebackers and Todd Wash, where it's like, listen, I need a certain amount of linebackers in order to run this defense, and right now what we have, we can't compete. So you can say the same thing about the defense as well.
Well, listen, it's starting to be an I said a month ago, man, I thought the talent on this roster, we went through position by position.
No, we did.
And I said, I think you can get better players at spots, but I don't see an eyesore outside of the tight end spot, which we knew was weak. But the more and more I process this and I say, okay, Foles comes in for $88 million. DiFilippo loves the tight end. The Jaguars have really nothing proven at tight end to start this year. So they were really doing this. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's what they were doing. I mean, they were doing that at the tight end spot. They were doing that a little bit behind Leonard Fournette, and that's worked because he stayed healthy. Yeah. The only way this could get worse this year is if Fournette were to get hurt.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
I mean, and they've got lucky at that position. They went super young and obviously traded away Ramsey, but they're super young in the secondary with the safeties and the depth and the wing guards of the world.
I mean, at one point we had 5 undrafted free agents in the secondary when Hayden went out momentarily.
Yeah.
It was 5. Now Boye's not really anymore, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And let's be honest, Brent, this is the NFL. So you have to do a little bit of this on every single team. I'm crossing my fingers like you did.
And I would agree with that.
But here's the thing, though. But not every team's going to be crossing their fingers at the linebacker spot, crossing their fingers at the backup running back spot, crossing their fingers at the safety spot. There's a lot of crossing your fingers at the tight end spot. There's a lot of crossing your fingers going on, and guess what? You didn't get that lucky.
Yeah. I will say they did in one regard. They crossed their fingers on the backup quarterback, and that worked out okay.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Because going into the year, there was all the questions about Gardner Minshew, and he goes 4-4 as a starter in replacement.
We're not going to talk a lot about their roster build next year. We got so much time to do that. But I have said now, as I've watched Baltimore play, and I watch all this other stuff, I do think I would just go get as many tight ends as possible because it's been a position that Jags haven't been able to fill. Jags haven't been able to fix. You know, it used to be wide receiver. They can't replace Jimmy Smith. You know what? They've done Allen Robinson and even Alan Hearns and Marquise Lee a little bit. And now you got DJ Chark and D.D. West. You know, they've done okay. Pass rusher used to be. They had Tony Brackens who was there yesterday, and nobody ever since that him really. I mean, there have been a few guys, but
Austin Lane was okay.
But so much so that Yannick Ngakoue. Oh yeah, sorry.
You're good, man. No worries.
But Yannick Ngakoue's played 4 years, less than 4 years, and he's second all time in sacking the quarterback. You know, and by the way, Calais I think is 4th.
Yeah.
So they've been able to fix some of those spots. Well, guess what? The next one is tight end. Mercedes Lewis is like the best tight end since Kyle Brady. That's not enough tight ends.
It's not.
So they've got to fix some of those things.
And you saw how you beat the New England Patriots if you watched last night the game. I mean, granted, I think the Houston Texans tight ends only had maybe 4 or 5 catches, but they're huge catches.
Big catches.
Catches with the tight ends and catches with the running backs. And that's how the Patriots got beat for the second time, thanks to the Ravens the first time. That's the trend right now.
And O.J. Howard had some nice plays out here.
That's how you win football games, man. You need a tight end.
Jags need a lot. We'll put a bow on this show, ESPN 690. Jags Report Live coming up tonight, 7 o'clock on CBS 47. We'll be out there at Top Golf. Come on out and join us. And we'll try to make sense of it all. Conley will be really good, I think, on both quarterbacks in this whole new switch. He's put in a tough spot, but he's coming on the show. And we'll do that at 7 o'clock at Top Golf on CBS 47. But we're not done here. Stay with us, ESPN 690.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats. Listen, I was focused on Masvidal, okay? As far as I'm concerned, it was just me and Masvidal on that stage together. I went up to The Rock, I saw him because he asked me, how's Dan doing? And I responded, personal matters, he'll be back a week from Monday.
You want more from the Dan Le Batard Show? Check out the podcast, wherever you get your podcast.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Now through December 2nd, Arlington Toyota is going to keep Mega Black Friday savings going strong. How mega? How about paying up to 50% less on remaining 2019s? And that's on top of the already incredible Toyotathon markdowns. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, just imagine the possibilities at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. Now it's only $15,581. That's $15,581 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Gotta have a 2019 Toyota RAV4? It's not $22,925. No, now it's just $19,481. That's $19,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 XLE at Arlington. And Black Friday, you can even register to win a $500 gift card from Arlington. Plus, you'll get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Pay up to 50% less now through December 2nd during Black Friday at Arlington Toyota. Shop them in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Black Friday for offer details.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
The holidays are on the horizon. That means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brent Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, and pasta dishes. Everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach.
Golic and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid in the league than Josh Rosen, It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the 2 situations he's found himself.
Golic and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Hi, this is Annika Sorenstam, and I'm a World Golf Hall of Famer, and you're watching Action Sports Jax.
Why don't they really screw up the defensive teams on the other side and play Minshew and Fultz and just switch them back and forth and have them really confused?
Is that Coach Sullivan?
Stuart said it, not me.
We got a name for everybody.
No, we're just
It sounded
ripping
like
people.
Sully.
Yeah, what a way to encourage people to try to call in and support the show. We're going to rip on you if you do it.
Nah,
I'm just kidding. I'm messing, man.
I will say
Star 690 is the way to call it.
We did run a formation with 2 kickers in it.
We did. That was the onside
We
kick.
had both Logan Cook and Lambeau out there.
And there was a lot of everything for nothing.
Yeah, I know. But
by the way, I don't think you would confuse the defense. The caller said you could confuse them. Right now, I'm more confused as watching the Jags than any defense is about their offense.
Yeah.
That's as simple as that. Hey, we got to hit the happy hour horn on a Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming off Thanksgiving weekend. Let's get to it.
Nobody come between us. Can't make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
As the careless party now begin, see the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes, gangsters rolling, half face smiling. It's all about think of the rhythm, what you're drinking. Anything goes. Hey.
Grab a drink, get a shot, tip your star tender.
And you could do that while you were over at Neptune Beach.
Yeah, and hey, spoiler alert, don't be afraid to put a little ginger beer in that tequila. It tastes pretty good. That was one of the mixers that they had there.
You liked it?
I liked it. Enjoyed it.
That was
Absolutely.
good. Vita DeLuise was out there Thanksgiving morning. Austin Lane was out there as well at Neptune Beach. I got a text that, why aren't you out here? Said I was enjoying hour number 7 of my drive to Mississippi.
It's all good, though, man. I'll put on for the show, and I'll do my due diligence and make sure we're well represented.
You did a good job,
welcome.
from what I hear.
So can I expense those drinks that I had then if it's for the show? We'll talk about that off there.
Sounds legit to me.
We'll talk
That's
about
a
off
pretty
there.
good thought.
Yeah.
Vita DeLuise recently got a 98 rating. And by the way, that was the Blanco flavor. Now, Reposado and Añejo recently started with a 94 rating. So, big-time debuts for the new flavors for Vita DeLuise. Check out VitaDeLuise.com. Visit their website for all merchandise, places you can get Vita DeLuise, and more. Okay, we got some quick hitters to get to. One more thought on the Minshew-Foles thing for now. How concerned should we be on the turnovers for Minshew? I understand that interception was on D.D. Westbrook, should have caught the ball. He fumbled a bunch early. Is that something that will go away? I'm a little bit afraid he's going to get labeled that, Blake Bortles got labeled that way, didn't go away. Jameis Winston's been labeled that way, didn't go away.
Yeah.
To me, it's the biggest red flag. He's fun to watch, all this other stuff, and there's a lot of room for growth. I understand that. But we're in a situation right now in Jacksonville where we're about ready to say, this is our guy going forward. And when you name a guy going forward, maybe even for the next however many years, well, you know what happens to that guy? As fun as he is, you start ripping him apart too and say, okay, what are his flaws? And right now, that's his number one flaw, is holding on to the football.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, how much of it is it him being a young player, a la Peyton Manning, who set the interception record his first year and then became Peyton Manning, or how much of it is that's who he is, Jameis, Blake, etc.
So here's the thing with Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston's main flaw is that he makes bad decisions. Not only does he hold on the football too long, but he throws this ball in spots sometimes that are just, exactly. I mean, I think it kind of trickles over, honestly. So from that perspective, I think he throws bad interceptions as well. Minshew's only problem right now is, yes, he hangs on the ball too much. If I'm a coach right now, I'm not trying to stunt his growth at all. I'm going to be like, you know what? If there's a play to make, go ahead and make it. And if you fumble it, if you hang on the ball too long, we'll live with it. But I like a guy that's going out there and try to extend the play and try to make those open plays when they're there.
All right, real quick, and we're going to elaborate on this tomorrow. Maybe get the listeners involved a little bit, and viewers. Thanks for watching on some of the platforms. What does he have to do these last 4 games to convince you that, I mean, is it wins related? Is it just the look, the eye test?
Highlights.
I mean,
excitement.
Because I think he'll have the excitement. I mean, I think we know that. But again, I said this about the first 8 games that he started.
Mm-hmm.
The excitement level was there. That didn't always mean he was playing great football.
True.
And there's a separation there. And so I'm a little curious, and think about that, maybe a little homework assignment for tonight. But what do we need to see? He's on now. This guy, Gardner Minshew, is now on display. I don't even think for Tom Coughlin, Dave Caldwell, and Doug Marrone. I think he's on display for Shad Khan and whoever else is coming in here. So this is a huge audition month
in my opinion, for Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, to me, the wins and losses, it doesn't fall directly on that, even though it should because you're the quarterback. But let's be honest, we got the Chargers, the Raiders have a pretty explosive offense. The Falcons, they have good receivers. I don't know if the Jaguars defense could have Minshew's back. They could be shootouts, but then they might not win the games. To me, it's all about how well he plays personally. What his numbers are like, what his turnover margins are like, what his touchdown to interception ratios are like, things of that nature. I think if he does pretty well there, the next coach coming in should be happy with that.
I just want to see how many more times he can win Pepsi Rookie of the Week.
For sure.
By the way, does that? I think he cost himself probably
with the 3 weeks
Rookie
out.
of the year with
You
those.
think it's Josh Jacobs?
Oh, the bad games.
Jacobs is over 1,000 yards, but if he goes on a tear, it's gonna be. I forgot about that.
Like if you win Pepsi Rookie of the Week 8 of the 17, I guess with the bye week of the weeks, does that mean you have to be Rookie of the Year?
Not
I mean, if
just
you win
Pepsi.
half the
I don't
time,
know if that's the NFL.
Come
one.
on.
I'll be interested to see if he can get back in that race.
Well, listen, Oakland's got a long ways to go, but if Oakland goes to the playoffs, I think you have to give the slight edge to
doubt.
Josh Jacobs.
But they're sliding right now, man.
They are.
And he can hardly get in the end zone. They hardly can get points
It'd
right
be more
now.
important if it was the Coke
At
Rookie
this
of the Week.
stage.
But
Now we're
here we
talking.
are.
You don't like Pepsi?
No.
Ouch.
No.
I don't like soda, so don't ask me.
I'm with you.
We're in the South, man.
I got you. Hey, Brent.
We're
let's go and fist bump that, man.
Wait a sec.
Just
Just
say
because
no
you're
to
on
soda.
a no sugar diet thing, Brent,
Just say no to
doesn't
soda,
mean
man.
you don't like soda.
That was actually, I was with Stuart.
Yeah. I was about to say.
So you're a soda guy? I thought you're a coffee
about
guy.
to
I'm
say-
not really a soda guy, but I'm more of a Diet Coke guy than
He's
I'm
on-
a
he's
Diet
on a
Pepsi
no
guy.
soda-
Why would you just pick a beverage? Is it coffee or Diet Coke? Pick
He's
one.
on a no soda kick right now, but I have seen this man consume some soda over the years. Diet, always.
I was going to say, doesn't diet soda have zero sugar or not?
It does.
It's got the
then why are you
fake
drinking
sugar
it?
in there.
Yeah.
I don't drink a lot of soda anymore.
Okay.
But I'm
But
just
you're
saying
just-
Coke
he
or Pepsi.
Oh, okay. I thought we were on soda in general. Okay, I got you.
No, it's Team Coke. Everyone in
totally.
the Southeast is,
Totally off
as
track.
they should be.
Yeah.
Hey, the Jaguars are
NFL.
the worst team in the NFL. Coming off yesterday, the most disappointing team in the NFL. Not the Jags. Who is it? Fill in the blank.
Stuart, go first.
I'll go first. The Philadelphia
Yes.
Eagles.
Okay.
I don't know how you don't win that game
Yeah.
down in Miami if you're the Eagles. I'm starting to question Peterson because how do you not have your team ready to play that game when
Okay.
Dallas opened the door for you?
Seriously, I could say the Eagles. I could say the Chargers, but they
That's what I was
they
gonna
have
say.
one thing in common: the injuries.
Yeah.
Right. They have a lot of injuries, a lot of skill positions, things like that. I think the Cleveland Browns, who can't really point to
Another
the
good one.
injury bug, are just 5-7 right now. Very disappointing.
Bad loss.
I think it's the Cleveland Browns for sure.
Yeah, I was going Chargers. Coming off the year they had a year ago. The fact that Phillip Rivers is in his last year of his contract, there's so much uncertainty. I mean, he's a lame duck quarterback right now because you thought this was that last run that they were going to make, and they've invented new ways to lose, as they do, every year. We'll see how they invent a way to lose this week.
Very nicely said.
Florida? Oh, go ahead.
Speaking of the Browns, real quick. Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers, coach of the year, hands down.
And that's what, again,
Coach of the
I
year,
said that
hands down.
earlier. If
Yeah,
you
did.
look at some of those teams and then you look at what's happened here in the last month, I don't know how that doesn't point back to coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, it just has to. And Tomlin is doing it with
It's
nobody.
A third string quarterback. It's insane what he's doing.
If you had to pick
Smith-Schuster, your star receivers out. I don't know.
If you had to pick, by the way, a
James
team,
Conner's
a
out,
team
sorry.
that was going to break the Black Cat hex, would you have picked the Bengals? Or no, was it the Bengals?
Yeah.
The
Jaguars.
Panthers, the Jaguars, and the Lions.
I would have picked
Would
the
you have picked
Panthers.
the Bengals as the one to have broken
Panthers
the
for
hex?
sure.
No.
Because they
Panthers
did.
for sure.
Panthers pretty disappointed now, too.
Ooh.
Kyle who?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
right? Yeah.
Did you see the diagram
When's
of
Cam
that last
coming
play?
back?
I did.
The
yeah.
diagram of that fourth down play where he had the receiver wide open on the right
I
while
didn't
he
see it.
still had room in the pocket, and then he ran backwards before finally
Oh,
falling
I saw
down.
that. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
The diagram was just interesting.
I didn't talk Florida State much. Didn't talk a lot of college football. But Florida wins. This to me, Florida fans are coming out of the woodwork right now. They're excited, and they should be
As
excited.
they should be.
But this reminds me so much of the flip of the first half of this decade when Florida was awful and Florida State was good or finding themselves. And I don't know if it's going to result in a
I
national
was going to say,
championship.
if it ends in a natty, that'd be great.
My quick question, though, is Florida's ranked higher than Alabama. Is Florida better than Alabama this year?
As it's built right now with that defense of Alabama, I think so.
I think so too.
It sounds really weird to say, but they've just been so depleted with all the injuries they had before the season and during the season to that defense.
I said it before,
Like you saw it
actually,
in
that
person.
game, and I saw him in person. I got to agree with you.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
crazy.
Florida
It's
would
crazy.
beat Alabama.
Well,
It's a crazy
And I
world we live
don't
in.
think Florida is good enough to win a national title.
Right now, yeah.
But I do think they'd beat Alabama.
Need a few more
Do you think
Kadarius
if Bama
Tonys.
had Tua, you think Bama could beat Florida? Okay, it's different.
Different
Yeah,
story.
I got you.
Hey, Kuz, we got to go. Jags Report live tonight, CBS 47. Kuz, you got your mix? Can we leave on the mix? Can you get it quick enough?
That was a challenge.
Because we had this call and then Kuz mixed it together, so we're going to end on Monday on the Minshew Mix here on ESPN 690.
It's gonna be alright. What you gonna do? Alright. Gonna give me some of that gonna be true. It's gonna be alright. Gonna be true. Alright. Gonna be true. Alright. 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 Gonna give me some of that gonna be true.
New flavors and a rating that would make Madden jealous. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brett Martineau. Vita de Louis recently got a 98 rating. It's new, and it's getting rave reviews.
Made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jack's Beach. Vita de Louis is available in 3 flavors.
And those flavors are Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Try all 3. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste. For merchandise and more, visit VitaDeLouis.com.
You've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.